Welcome to tonight's episode of Storm King's Thunder. We are on session 31 of our campaign, where me and a bunch of my nerdy-ass friends get together and we like to play Dungeons and Goddamn Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons!
Beautiful. Last week on session 30, we had quite an eventful time. The party, having just defeated the frost giant Jarl Storvold, had left the realm of Elseer and returned to Faerun. And while they had only been gone a few hours, they found that time had passed differently, and that in your realm, you had been gone for 4 days. Davos was actually keen enough to work out that you guys, every hour that passed in Elseer was 12 in Faerun. You reunite with Valkyr, who came bearing the news that Lady Daggerford is working with the Zent and planning an attack on Nightstone to take it by force very soon. You also know that Lord Umber is involved in that plan. As your ship was being repaired from the damages sustained in the battle, you guys spent a couple of days bar hopping and sharing stories of your heroic deeds, as well as picking up a few magic items at Noblet's shop, which I hate that you missed, Birkin, because, you know, I put that in there for you, you bastard.
I actually just watched it before we started this session.
Beautiful. So you get my terrible impersonation of you, so perfect.
Yeah, it's good.
You were also advised, Bergen, by Grilnir, your mentor, to visit the halls of Helm's Hold, the base of operations for the Order of the Gauntlet, so that you may tell them of the events and deeds that have brought you to this point, as well as the make them aware of the artifact you've obtained. Once he saw the ring, he was very keen on you going soon. You also continued down to Neverwinter, and along the way scryed upon Lady Daggerford and learned the exact day of the attack, which was a very valuable piece of information. You also found out that that's when you found out she was aided by Lord Umber, and you got a name for the Zent leader, the Snail, which you've heard once before. Previously in Nightstone, when you guys had first came and captured Kella and given her to the Seven Snakes, during negotiations, the Snail's name was mentioned a couple of times. So you know he's somehow tied in with the Zent fairly well as a high-ranking person that Kella seemed to fear. You had arrived in Neverwinter and went to the Driftwood Inn, whose primary proprietor pleased your palates with powerful pours of pungent Peroni. Had to throw one in for the recap. Also, Peroni. It's terrible in America, but goddamn, if you can get it on draft in Italy, it's fucking delicious. There you met and recruited the bard Capo Quickclaw, who agreed to ride back with you to Nightstone. You also met a retired adventurer in Zane, who was a Griffin cavalryman of the Lord's Alliance, who was responsible for training new troops. He also told you that he retired from adventuring life after a powerful magical artifact corrupted one of his allies, and the Frost Giants had killed his lover in an attack. You spent the next 3 days learning the basics of aerial maneuvers, mounted combat, and working with your respective mounts. As a result of this, you guys do not need to make any checks for normal flying or combat maneuvers, but you may need to if you or your steed takes a particularly heavy blow, the exception being Zatari, who has the Saddle of the Cavalier. Zane led you on a trek eastward, but diverted from his planned route when he saw the Cloud Giant Castle, which he tells you is very controlling of its airspace. Instead, you drifted toward the rocky peaks of the Crags, which is a volcanic mountain range just east of Neverwinter. And as you came closer, you were lured down by 3 harpies, who attempted to charm you into walking into the boiling water of a volcanic hot spring. You guys managed to shake off the effects of the charm and take them out, and as a reward for saving him, Zane passed along a treasured magical artifact, a Javelin of Lightning. I think to Davos, if I recall correctly. If you didn't last week, put that in your bag, by the way. On the way back to Neverwinter, you were intercepted by Old Gnawbone, who was furious that you slew Valora the Green Dragon, and demanding that you give her crystal ball back to her that she had given to the young green dragon. When we ended our session, you were in the works to barter and negotiate with the dragon to try to keep it. But the only thing offered thus far that she seemed interested in was the Bloodstone. And I will say, since Bergen was not present, you can retcon to say that was never offered if you would like. Or you can, you could choose to use it as a gambit if you would want. You have that option. But I do have a question. We never actually answered yes one way or the other. For your troops at Eastwatch, the tower near Secumber, do you want to pull them back, or do you want them to try to rebuff Nim coming from Loudwater?
I don't know how I feel about having troops that far away from home.
Yeah, but I feel
I'm
bad
willing to-
leaving fucking Succumber out to dry.
That's a fair point too.
I don't know how close we are to Succumber. I know Bergen's gonna be like, help everybody, but that may not
The
be the best
altruist.
course of action.
Succumber's our closest neighbor. We've actually
Mhm.
extended the offer for him to withdraw with us, right? Into Stone.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, think about it. If somebody said, "Hey, they're coming to attack. All of your people come to my town and leave your town empty."
No,
I mean, then those people could take over his town instead of yours, and they may not even attack Nightstone. They may be satisfied with that.
oh,
So there's a
yes,
double-edged like gambit
Yes.
there. I'm getting there.
That's the idea. No, I'm kidding.
No, I got you.
Sorry, that broke my news.
Doubles the size of his town by convincing another town to retreat. Wow, you are the Lich. Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
No, I have a couple of actual ideas we can implement, but right now, I was under the impression we had them retreat back to Nightstone, so I'm okay
Yeah.
Back
with
to Nightstone?
if you guys are.
I think so.
Sounds like it's unanimous.
Okay. Retreat back to Nightstone. Let me mark that.
Asterisk. She's gonna know that happens, so now she may have an idea that we know something is up.
I thought she already
Guys have
knew
been-
anyways, yeah.
I don't think she doesn't.
Well,
know
I think-
now I think that
You told Daphne, and Daphne can't communicate with him through the mirror, so there's going to be a messenger sent. But you do know that Lady Daggerford is occasionally popping out on your mirror. So it may have been heard, it may have not been. So, but that's a good point.
still they should retreat. I think.
We're going to retcon one thing, because Berger was not here last week, and I wanted this to happen. Your dad. Yeah, that's right. So, after you've returned and you've received this hero's welcome, these people, you were gone for several days. They thought you might have died. Like, many of them had given up hope. And to have you return, not only alive, but with news that you slew Storvold, and because of your help that the Frost Giants were overrun. If you guys did not save the Uthgard from Svardborg, that Zatari could run into them and arrive in the 11th hour and help drive them back, things might have been very different for the lives and the structures within Bremen. But after a bit of this initial excitement fades, the word has finally reached your father that you're back, and he is racing down from the Temple of Helm. And as soon as he sees you, he like bear hugs you, and he is crying a bit, and he says, "Praise the Watcher, my son. I thought that I was scared during the battle, but that was nothing to thinking you wouldn't come back. I was terrified that they were going to take you like they took your mother. But you're safe, my little iceberg."
Shit.
Had to throw it in somewhere.
That's good.
Been almost a year to the day, and you've done incredible things. You've grown so much. Even before all this, the town was full of tales would hear about your adventures. It would fill the 5 Tavern Center every night, well into the wee hours of the morning. Helm's honest truth. And I loved hearing how Bergen of Bremen had become a lord after saving a town from certain destruction. How you, Helm's chosen, has stopped catastrophe at every turn. And here the taverns erupt each night when the drunks once again had forgotten and recalled the tale of Bergen Stonespire standing toe-to-toe with the dragon and commanding it to grovel. You've done so much in so little time. And to be here, having avenged your mother, not as a bloodthirsty executioner, but as a righteous defender of hearth and home, you've become a symbol to Bremen, to Veyron, a true man of justice, Helm's chosen guardian. I'm just so proud of you.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Sorry to leave you hanging like that. As it turns out, time flows a little differently in other realms.
I was about to say, we had a rule. When you're gone for more than one day, you call home, okay? No, I understand. You've done things I couldn't comprehend. Done things I never would have thought anyone from our small town would do. But you've done them well.
I do it for Helm because Helm wants it for us all.
Very cleric answer. Your dad tells you, I know that Storvald was searching for someone, someone Kimber. That that was the reason he came for your mother. Did he find them? Did you find them?
We did, and it turns out he's a distant relative of ours, a great-grandfather, I believe.
Yes, your great-grandfather. Oh. He was still alive? He's a human like us?
Yeah, but he was in possession of something that was extending his life longer than it probably should have. And
Let's say about that
yeah,
moment.
I I hold up my hand and I show him. I don't know if he knows what it is, but I explain it.
If you explain it, you see is this not anxiety, but this sort of passive worry sets in. He's like, Storvald was after this? It's some powerful magical thing you're just walking around with? Bergen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared for you. Other people are gonna want this. Maybe other giants. Just be careful.
You know it, always. And I got some pretty solid homies that have my back.
Yeah.
It's like Devin's over here sitting here thinking like, "It's what we do."
Yeah.
We're used to
I'm not
carrying
gonna
shits around.
I'm not gonna tell you not to take it, but just be careful with it. Use it if you must, but know that if the wrong people hear you have it, more may come.
Heard that.
And with that,
DM foreshadowing.
Yeah, no doubt.
dun dun dun. You guys, this is the point where you were swept away to the taverns and you each tell your tales, which was really fun to listen to, by the way. Just listen to you guys shoot the shit about what you've already done was super fun, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
And now we return to our present moment. Before the Gargantuan Dragon. Gargantuan may be one size too big, but colossal, rippling muscles in her full form. You had previously seen her merely within the woods and not had a true scale of her stature, but she is immense. As big as your keep is, and huge yellowed horns that have twisted with age, teeth and eyes that are both sharp and fixated, wings that the wing beats of which actually buffets your mounts. They have to try forcefully to keep up face to face with this, and every instinct in them is telling them to run. If it wasn't for the fact that you guys are holding them steady, they would be gone. And you barter with this ancient dragon. She desires her crystal ball back, the crystal ball of true sight that Davos has, and is declined her initial attempts to convince her to let you keep it. So now you must find something that you think she will take of value. I will allow you guys to talk for a minute, but give me 3 things that you want to try to offer her. It could even be like a, let's do this first, and if she takes that, that's okay, but if that doesn't work, let's try this, and we'll see if anything pops. I'll say that there are about 4 things that I can think of that she would accept. There may be others.
Can we get anything in the bag?
One we had was something of Bergen's, and that's why we're like, let's not give that away while he's not here.
Yeah, the bloodstone is
the
worth
bloodstone. It is, and as I think we could come across more diamonds.
Well, here's the thing, though. The first thing I think that we should put on the table, if I'm being honest, is it says 7 500 gold piece gemstones. I'm not real good at math, but that's 30.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Like 3,500 gold pieces. We could try that first. I don't know what the orb is worth, but you know, if the dragon perceives that amount to be the same,
I was under the impression she was more interested in item of an equal magical value rather than like monetary value, but maybe not.
She might be. I mean, I don't know. Dragons like treasure, but you could be absolutely correct about that. It might have to be useful. I don't know.
So let's at least maybe try the just the
The
gems.
bloodstone for sure.
Well,
or right, the 7.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
it's 7
bloodstone is the
gems.
last
Gemstones?
resort.
right.
Try the gems first, and then
Okay.
there's a couple of other things we can discuss. We have runes, like the thing you put on your shield, Davos.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have 2 of those that have not been attuned to anything.
I don't
Still-
have them. But yeah.
I think the only other thing that I saw was probably it.
So we'll go gems, runes, bloodstone last, and if not, then the crystal ball.
Guess so.
Oof.
I'm gonna keep
Do
looking.
we really
real
want to
quick.
give it back?
I mean, the only
I
other
mean, I
thing,
don't want to, but I'm like not gonna die for it.
the only other 2 things is Jarl Storvold's helm, which we may be on the ship. It is like a giant artifact.
Well, you guys brought this. Oh, well, yeah. I would say for the purposes of this, you could have it, available.
Yeah, so Storvold's helm, which is an Astorian artifact, or the fragment of the Nightstone that we have. I really don't think we should give her the Nightstone fragment,
No.
but I think it would be
Veto.
a surefire way to keep the crystal ball.
Since it's vetoed, I will tell you she would have accepted that.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely did that. How about these 4
but
young
you're right.
dragon talents?
Yeah.
Rude.
You get
Oh, God.
I've also,
You want the
So-
bones of your child?
Fucking rude. Alright. So, the 7 gemstones. Both runes or just one of the runes? The Pennant of the Wind and the Ice rune?
So what if we
Let's
started?
try one
Yeah.
first, and
You
then
think
do
maybe if we give her
another
the
rune?
wind one, it would make her, she could use it to make herself faster. We wouldn't get to
I mean,
make her
Not
ship
necessarily.
I was gonna say they have to be attuned to like an artifact kind of thing. Right?
You
What
either
items?
so the way it works, this particular one, it can be an item of itself. It can be destroyed to enchant, I think, a pair of boots or a pair of armor. Or it can be equipped to a vehicle that relies on some type of wind power to increase its speed. And not equipped, the sort of the sail that it's attached to now is serving that function. This is the sail that was on the Kriegvind, the main sail anyway. This is what Storvold used to start running faster after y'all were firing on him.
Is
Oh,
that
yeah,
something that
so-
can be applied to the wind wyvern?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you could put it on your ship and it would gain, I think, 30% speed. So like an extra 20 miles a day. That might not be right. The numbers might be right, but
So
can
if she
It's a
does
bit-
one
it's
of
a-
those, definitely gonna do that.
oh yeah, I mean, getting around a little quicker. I mean, there is one other thing I think you might want to potentially use it for, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. We'll see if you sacrifice it or not. So ice or wind, which one are you offering first?
Let's give her
Ice,
ice.
in my opinion.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's give her ice.
All right. Goldbrand pulls forth the 7 gemstones: a ruby, a sapphire, emerald, topaz, a diamond. Not a diamond, because technically that's its own thing. But 7 pretty sparkling stones, and holds them up to her. And what do you say in this moment as you present your offering? We'll see if basically there's going to be you're going to have to persuade her for this. If you add something to what you're saying, then the DC will lower. Excuse me.
I can's nuts knows what's that shiny glass ball is worth. But he'll take the gems and he'll hold them up and he'll say, if this is equals or mores, I will simply, what this they calls it, pays yous for the items.
Roll a persuasion check, just a flat one.
Gross. me find my persuasion. Gross.
She sneers at the offering. What I desire is no ordinary crystal. Something that allows me to peer beyond my domain. This will not suffice. At that point,
Skid-rag!
Does it go red in his head? Well, you can't have the fucking mirrors.
Oh, what about
at that
we also
point,
talked about the dragon arrows or bolts or whatever?
oh, true. You do have the two bolts of dragon arrows, bolts, dragon slaying.
Yeah, but she just told us she
Let's
wants
not
something
mention
that...
those.
So,
Like she did just tell us she wants something that helps her see.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cat kicked my keyboard.
I'd say, wow, that's terrible. Why does it say null under your name?
I don't know. How'd you
Do
do
you
that?
really have
That's
a
weird.
-1 to persuasion?
Indeed.
He's not a very charismatic fucker.
Nope.
Indeed.
Somewhere Hidea's like, no, he's very charismatic fuckers. That's very. So, we'll say, Davos presents the ice rune. You start with the ice. What do you say as you present this?
Oh, jeez. Rather than seeing beyond your domain, with this rune, you could conquer beyond your domain.
Hello.
Okay, actually pretty good. Ooh, not quite, my friend. Sorry.
Ah, come on with a
You-
plus 10.
you-
16.
no. Yeah, you rolled pretty poorly.
Yeah.
But you do have the wind rune. Do you want to throw that into the pot to sweeten the deal?
Kind of like look to the group.
I
Should
nod.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you think it's
What about both of these? Bofa.
2 copper pieces. Okay. Roll again. I don't want to say with advantage because that might make this too easy. She's reconsidering.
Hells yeah.
3. Excellent. You needed a 22. You just barely beat that. Like, it was originally a 25 for anything except the Bloodstone she would take. The Nightstone she would take. A couple other things she would just do. But there were things that, if it's really cool magical item, like, these are both very rare. That's the same rarity, technically, as her item. Practicality, not so much. But both of them is a sweet deal. She looks it over. And she muses aloud. The magics of the giants are strange to me. This would allow me to comprehend them. And as others are learning similar types of magic, I will accept these offerings.
others? Other dragons.
There are many who seek to learn to utilize ancient magics.
I guess Sephiroth knows about them. Okay.
Zephyros he understands the runes. He can not necessarily create them, not
He
easily
is a
anyway.
giant, though.
These all the runes are ancient Asturian artifacts. This is old magic, something that's not really prevalent
Practice.
or easily accessible. There are people who can utilize these items, like create these items, but they are few and far between, less than a handful on the entire continent.
Gross.
She takes the 2 and presents you back with the crystal ball. But as she does, she offers this warning. My gift allows you to see beyond your domain, yes. But too much time spent gazing into it will leave your domain exposed. Be cautious, young lords. And with that... Oh,
Anything
sorry,
we
if
can
you...
do to protect ourselves from that?
She goes, threats lie all about. Serpents beneath stones. Panthers within trees. Beasts just beneath the surface. there is no way to protect yourself other than vigilance.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty metal, so I'm gonna write that down. If I have your permission for a new song.
And new Fayrod song.
Yeah, the
Um,
bard opens his book.
With that, she exhales, not directly at you, but 2 plumes of smoke as she, with a mighty wing beat, ascends 20, 50, 100 feet and begins to glide southward, where you know her domain to be.
Somebody else got a boner right now?
Zane, awkwardly, half raises his head. You've pissed off dragons? What's the... I'm slipping into a Goldburn accent. You've pissed off dragons? What the hell are you getting into?
To be fair, they pissed off first.
Yes, whatever we want, really. This really means this we have to kill Sirs and take those things back. But that's the problem for other times.
Zane's like, oh god damn, I'm too old to deal with this shit. All right, let's get back to Neverwinter.
Says
You
the
guys-
other old man.
You guys glide. That's right. You're probably about the same age. I didn't think
Or
about that.
older.
That's funny. He's at this point 50s to 60, I think.
It's about the same age then.
Yeah. You guys
that
spend.
old? Jeez.
Yeah.
Goldburn's almost 60.
Yeah, old man. You guys spend about 2 hours drifting back to Neverwinter, and as you do, your mounts, while a little shaken, seem very steady. It's odd but you get the sense that your encounter of bringing them this close to such a dangerous beast and getting them out without A, dying, but B, even having to struggle or flee or fight or anything, there's an increased respect for all of you in the eyes of your animal companions. As you get back and you land, Zane will ask you, so, you got my own Godric's griffin cub. Tell me, what'd you name her?
I was torn
Good job.
between a few things, but I think I finally landed on God, take your pick of either Dawnwing, Dawnfeather, or Dawntail. I call her Dawn for short.
Are you saying
That's
Dawn.
the Dongwing. Dongwing, oh god, I'm saying it. Dawnwing, Dawntail, or what was the other one? Dawnfeather?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're asking for his opinion, Dawnwing has a pretty good ring to it.
So does Gryffindor.
Especially for a priest of Helm, that's such an odd choice. But who am I to judge? And he lets you go about your way. You guys return to the Westwind Wyvern, and Tajin once again sets off, heading southward. And you have a stop to make along the way, Bergen.
Oh.
I'm going to drop this in game notes. Nope. Just the regular chat.
What do we gotta go get? One of Noblet's goblets?
Shut the fuck up. That's actually really clever, and I'm sad I didn't use it. But you should Noblet's Goblet Shop, and then just have some magic items on the side. I mean, that's beautiful. You depart from Neverwinter and fly for just a few short hours, basking in the afternoon sun on this warm day, flying low in the summer breeze. Sorry, let me pop on my map. I just realized, oh fuck. My Roll20 was in the next dungeon you're gonna be in, so I gotta delete that footage. Or not delete that footage, but cover that footage. Anyhow. Looking
At
over
the high
here.
hallowed halls of Helm's Hold.
That is indeed. Flying low due to a hearty summer breeze, Kaya gives a low whistle, and you all come to the helm of the ship, and see the splendid city of Helm's Hold, with 60-foot-high marble walls and a broad river moat. Dozens of spires dot the wall and buildings within. And those of you, even with a meager study of history and religion, know that the city has stood strong for centuries against many would-be conquerors. Ascending to the sky from the center of this stronghold is the towering spire that is the Cathedral of Helm, the spire of which is actually higher than your elevation at the moment. Now, Bergen, you've been here but once, when you completed your training in Bremen. You were sent here to be anointed as an official Knight of the Order by the chief speaker, Arandine Wanderfoot, who then bids you to follow Helm's will and proceed to the shattered citadel that you discovered was Nightstone. As the airship approaches, several ballista atop the wall and towers swivel towards you, and Tajin has the ship stop at a respectable distance and land. As you exit and approach the walls, the guards at the gates see you, Bergen, and the symbol of Helm, emblazoned upon your shield, on your breastplate, your very gauntlet, and lowers the gates, bringing you into a dense city of sturdy buildings and narrow streets, and you gather that this was intentionally done to better defend the city in the event that the gates were ever breached. And while it is a fortress, Helm's Hold is very much a city. Along the way, you pass blacksmiths, some linking chainmail and sharpening spears, but others making horseshoes or simple tools. Merchants and traders bark in a bizarre market, and the smell of animals and dirt hang heavy in the air. You pass taverns, tailors, bookshops, and, surprisingly, a brothel. Bergen, you know where to go. You can choose to head straight there. You can choose to explore the city. You can choose to shop. You guys can sort of decide how you want to do this, if you want to head straight to the speaker or if you would like to do anything within the city first.
Corbin has a small existential crisis on the way in, trying to imagine what it would be like to siege.
That's fair, yeah. Especially for Uthgar. Like, this thing is impenetrable by even, like, siege weaponry. I couldn't imagine, like, barbarians trying to take it.
Folks, all that.
I make sure the crystal ball's covered up with a blanket, like a Pippin style.
Okay.
Tis
Wow,
in the bag.
Pippin. Wow, what a reference. I aged a few years when he said that. Fantastic. Okay. Where do you head?
To the blacksmith. I walk up and I
Okay.
tap my breastplate with my mace. I go, "You got anything better than this?"
With your mace? Okay.
Yeah.
He turns his head, and you see a sort of burlier half-orc fellow. He's got sort of a skullet, like he once had like a head of
That's
hair, and it's
awesome.
just thinned out a bit. And now it's just like the bit in the back, a little bit of facial hair, lots of scars on his arms, burns, not much in the way of hair on his arms. Wearing sort of it's almost funny. It's leather armor, but it seems neglected. It's almost like the shoemaker's wife is barefoot, and just doesn't seem to care much for his own stuff. But the wares you see are quite impressive. And he goes, "Yeah, I think we might be able to whip something up. You interested in something?" He picks it up and he looks it over, and I'm gonna actually have him make a check. He rolled fairly well. What are you looking to make this? What are you looking at? You want something heavier, something with both your hands, a maul, a sledgehammer,
Oh no,
battle
sorry.
axe?
Not the mace, not the mace. Like tap
Oh.
my breastplate with my
with your
my
mace.
Yeah,
Okay,
got anything
good.
better than
'Cause-
this here breastplate. No,
'cause
the
Joey
mace
was-
treasure.
I was about to say, because Joey was like, "Oh god, that's enchanted. Fuck."
No, never give up the mace.
Okay.
My shooting
Armor.
mace.
You have a lot more options. So let me see. You
Look at that
currently
plus
have
one
the
chain
breast.
shirt.
You currently have the breastplate.
Shit. Let me just
I think he can wear heavy armor now, right? You took a strength bump to
Yeah.
man. You have the adamantine armor you can wear too, which is
Do I?
Which
plate mail, isn't it?
you have
Wow,
adamantine.
I
It's
forgot
plate
all about
mail.
that shit.
The only thing is, it gives you disadvantage on strength saves. Make sure AC, disadvantage on
right.
stealth checks.
Yeah.
And it gives you an 18 AC, which is solid. The only thing is that it does make you have the disadvantage. Now, if you guys had kept the Pennant of the Wind rune, if you would use it to enchant armor, it takes away that disadvantage. I know. It's a fun.
You could
you know.
ask about
I
having
like it.
mithril. You could
You-
think about having mithril commissioned.
You could. That would be something he would have to make, and it would cost you a pretty penny.
You could ask Eros too. I'm assuming it could be shipped to us like some other things have previously.
Oh, yeah.
What about like a magical +1 chain shirt?
I think
What do you
chains
cur-
are not as good as-
Breastplate.
Yeah.
There was 3 people talking. I didn't hear any of it.
Oh, sorry. I'm wearing breastplate. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
But for
So-
me,
So breastplate, you could go to half plate. It still has the disadvantage. So what's your dex mod? Your mod, so just the single digit.
Right. 1.
1. Okay. So you have 15 plus your shield for a total of 17. Is that right?
I'm sorry. So, yes, 17.
Okay. You could choose. Let me double check one thing, because you could get several things that are better than that, but most of them have the disadvantage factor.
Right.
So I want to make sure that you can. I want to see what it would cost to have the mithril armor made.
That's going to be necessary if we're going to sneak into a castle and kill a fiend.
Right. Any sneaking.
are
Yeah.
we gonna be doing that?
I mean,
Well,
how
yeah,
long do we have to
that's
talk
what I was
about that,
gonna
DM? I have several thoughts about that, but
What do we have?
I mean,
14
ta-
days now or some shit?
I'm still.
Y'all can talk about that for a second
Yeah,
while I do this.
I was
That's
about
good,
to-
because that's going to be when you get back to town. That's going to be a thing.
Thing. So we're going to talk about. So I have a couple of thoughts about this, but I'm sure you guys will also have good ideas. So I still
Debatable.
think. I still think that. Me and Goldbrand both are still all for trying to stop her. I feel like in the order of least to best options, the first one is just wait it out, prepare, and meet her on the field of battle. But I think that's a terrible idea, mostly because everything she's done so far has been by subterfuge, and something will go down before that final battle that will put us at a serious disadvantage.
That's
Which is-
assuming she would even come too, right?
Yeah, I don't think she'll even leave the castle for that. Devin doesn't. The good bit of this is Devin talking. Goldbrand wouldn't get all of this. I don't
So
think,
then,
but-
before you continue, the only thing I would say with that is, would she leave Waterdeep unguarded or less guarded to send them to Nightstone? Because that may be our chance if she was sending out the army,
get her. Well, that's not a bad
But-
thought.
but then we
I'm-
wouldn't be in Nightstone.
Yeah, I'm really afraid of whatever happens 3 or 4 days before the battle that's going to happen to weaken us, because I just don't. Does that make sense? Everything she's done so far has been underhanded, so that
So-
the sitting and waiting worries me. So I think
We're
what
allowed
we
to
need-
like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I would just.
We're allowed to just like visit her like the town, right? Her town. Like we could just go and visit. Like that's
We-
not illegal. We're not
Presumably.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Can
would
we
be
have
weird.
Osvius like give like a fucking blueprint or something of this fucking place?
That's a goddamn good
Uh,
idea.
Osvius could provide you with some details.
And then we
I'm
still got
laughing at
that
Devin,
like
not your idea.
invisi
Yeah.
powder, right? Invisi powder.
Yeah, you do have the dust of disappearance. It's, I think, up to
Like-
5 minutes, as little as
I bet
2.
oof.
It
Oh,
might be
God.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Look in the bag, but
Yeah.
We can,
it's
we can
Release the
buy
limited.
permission him an item that will maybe can give him invisibility.
Osvius.
Yeah.
Osvius can make himself invisible. He's talking
Oh,
about the
yeah.
dust of disappearance to make
Yeah, I'm
you
talking
guys
about
invisible.
like us sneaking
for
in,
us.
knowing
I
where the
see.
fuck to go. and
I see.
like,
I have passed without a trace, so
surprise, bitch.
that will be extremely helpful for helping us get in there,
Indeed.
get in and get out. So I think it's either A, we need to go in and get her and just try to kill her, and hope that the body is enough proof to get us out of trouble. Preferably, we need to capture it alive.
Mm.
Succubuses are she, incubuses are he, just for the record.
You're right. I don't know. Goldberg thinks it's an it because it's a fiend.
Is
He's
that
like,
Red Bull and rum?
That's sexist, yeah.
That's what
This
I
is
do about
this is ginger beer and
The
Kraken.
dark and
Ginger
stormy.
Dark and stormy.
But
Another wonderful thing that Matt Mercer has introduced me to.
what is the last? There was a third thing. Oh. So we could maybe somewhat feasibly, if we wanted to try to draw her out, my best plan for that would be that at least one charismatic character and any other character attempt to approach her under the guise that they are going to backstab the rest of the lords. Like, tell her something along the
Ooh.
lines of, we will have Succumber retreat to us. You can take that town. Or more likely is that we want to help you take Nightstone, but we get Succumber out of it. Attack Succumber with us, and we will dispose of the remaining lords. And does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
If 2 people tried to attempt her approach her covertly about this, and we fooled her into thinking this was really the situation, we could potentially at least lure her out into the open to ambush her.
When
Because
you
once
say
the fight
open,
starts,
her
go ahead.
chambers.
No, in public, on the field of battle, right before. Especially if she agreed to meet with these two people, she would probably do so at least once in a public setting. Like where you sit at a restaurant and make it look like you're not actually talking about business or whatever. Anything along that nature, and then she could just be ganked right then in public, because Goldbrand knows his moonbeam will strip away the illusion as soon as it hits.
I guess I'm just questioning the likelihood of her going out in public.
Is it? It could be very much a thing. Could still be beneficial to sell that lie, but that's
So Zatari and Tally and Valkyr are all with you. Wow, it's weird to say Valkyr. And one of them will mention that we know she's been reclusive, that she's been locked up in her keep, and since somebody tried to stab her last month, she's probably not going to be wanting to go out and about with people she sees as enemies. So the last one might be difficult, but
she
anything's
doesn't know
possible.
that we see her as an enemy.
Yeah, she doesn't. I don't think
That's a
she
fair
knows.
point.
I don't think she knows all the things we know now.
But even so, I would agree. Like, she's already reclusive. There was an attempt. She does not like us, whether we know it or not.
Mm.
I mean, we could request an audience, but I guess I'm just curious.
Devin's favorite option is just going in there.
Right.
Preferably we take the fiend alive, but if not,
and then
no
how
one
would
sees
we
us go
get?
in.
How
we
would
have-
we
we-
hide? How would we hide the party versus just us two, kind of thing?
Two of us can't kill her. I don't think we need to take the whole party if we're just gonna.
No,
we're
right.
gonna go
But so
into-
how do we hide the party?
I think Pass Without a Trace will be extremely helpful. The Dust of Disappearance might be super key.
Mhm.
I haven't.
Both good options.
I was leaning pretty heavily on Pass Without a Trace. That plus 10's dumb.
Does a succubus have any like true sight kind of thing? Can we like look up succubuses while we're here in Helm's library?
You could certainly go. There is the a Temple of Knowledge.
Oh, we got to do Bergen's armor.
Well, okay, you're correct. So, if you ask about the mithril, the blacksmith will tell you. I've made things of many things. I've bent adamantine to my will. I've hewn dragon scales, but this mithril's that elven shit. You're gonna have to find yourself a master to get that made. I mean, I occasionally get some pieces in, but it's nothing that I can make here.
Gotcha. Well, I
Now-
appreciate it, sir.
Oh, of course, of course. Now, that breastplate, if you want to get a +1 breastplate, he doesn't say +1, but meta-wise, I'm telling you.
Right.
If you want to get a +1 breastplate, I can get you that for about 1,200 gold. If you want to get... all the others are going to have disadvantage on stealth. I think that's the highest you can get with without the disadvantage.
I vote you buy it and then still go look for an elf to commission mithril armor.
Hells yeah.
We're
I mean-
rich.
All right,
We're loaded.
I will take that. Will you accept this trade-in old breastplate offer to?
I'll cut
do you-
200
do you
gold
buy
off of it.
used- do you buy
That's
used
what's
armor?
clear. You've done
200
the whole
gold.
campaign.
This is a historical artifact. Dragons
Yeah.
have been slayed in this
This
breastplate.
was
Oh, yeah.
Stone
I mean-
Spire's old-
If I gave any adventurer who wandered through this place and had slain something slightly bigger than him, tell me, how big was that dragon? Yeah, that's what I
Big
thought.
is your ego. Listen here, buddy. We're not
tell you
just
what.
some adventurers. You're talking about. Oh wait, we gotta keep it a secret.
Oh, we don't even have like a crew name.
We don't have a group
We
name.
don't really have a group name.
I mean, you're known as, like, in the city you're known as the
The
Lords of
Lords.
Nightstone, just as the Lords of Waterdeep are known as that, but, I mean, if y'all wanted to have a specific name, you certainly could. Those are the fuckers. That's the name.
My vote is still for the Lords of Cinder. Both the
Lords
Dark
of
Souls
Cinder.
reference and a Phoenix reference.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Phoenix.
That sounded
a
like
lot of
penis,
price.
and I don't know why. Hey, I'll tell you what, Brandon, roll a persuasion check, and we'll see if you can convince him to give you a little more for it.
I think this
Talking
is
about Helm's own hero, anointed.
Oh, wait, are you Stonespire?
You
Yeah,
know it,
not like
baby.
that giant one out there. We got our own stone spire.
No, I've heard of you. You're kind of talking amongst town lately.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Hmm. I'll tell you what, roll one more persuasion check for me. Well,
Helm
this is
speaks to me,
the-
yo.
Can I get?
this,
Can I give
this
some
is the other.
points?
Okay, 21. Yes.
21 and a 16.
Well, he's gonna guide you, which gives you a plus what?
Or
4?
yeah, I can just spells.
Ye-
Guidance.
okay, no. Roll the.
Roll
Why
again.
don't you? Hold on.
Well, roll.
I'm trying to get this. Oh, that sucks. It's just +1.
That's not quite enough. I said if it was gonna be 23, if you got a 2 on that die, I would call it. He tells you, for Helm's champion, I'll give you full price for the breastplate, 400 gold.
Oh, where?
So now you get 800 gold for the +1.
Nice.
Devin, if
Like
you'll
very-
deduct that, yeah. Bergen, go ahead and go into your inventory, add the +1 breastplate. I think it is considered a magical item, so you might have to attune to it. No, they don't require attunement. I'm sorry. Check, but I don't think they do.
Right, right.
But solid, excellent purchase. Would any of the rest of you like anything from the blacksmith?
I mean, I still kind of want to go have Bergen and Mithril heavy set commissioned. That's all like filigreed out and helm. Like it's your fucking battle armor. Like your helm blacksmith. With,
Oh,
like,
and he
the
froze.
appropriate problem. It just be dope. All about it.
It would be
I
pretty
just
cool.
need his name.
You,
so we
you
can
know,
praise-
actually, this is a city built around the worship of Helm. Devin, you're muted, or not muted, but you know,
I was
get out of here, come back.
I was laughing.
Oh, okay. So you are in the very heart of Helm's followers. This breastplate he had intended to provide either to a soldier of the Order of the Gauntlet, and is already complete. It was already complete with an etching, actually, of the gauntlet itself, the eye, the fist. It's an immaculate piece of armor. It's got like almost a blue tinge to the steel, and it's got very sharp angles. It's very finely made. Even
Are you saying
trying
this
to
is
think.
Helm's haberdashery?
Shut the fuck up. That's hats. That's completely different. You even see along the inside of it, there's a yellow cloth lining to make it more comfortable. It's very nice, and like he takes it to you, and his hands are covered in soot, and he passes it to you, and when he lets go, there it's immaculate. Like magical things do not get dirty in the normal sense of it. Which is really cool. We're gonna take a quick pause there to say hi, Josh. How's it going, dude?
What's a
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello.
What do you have? What do you have?
My dude.
We are currently in Helm's Hold, which is the city that's sort of devoted to Bergen's god. He just got himself a dope set of armor at the blacksmith. If you would like anything made at the blacksmith or pick up anything, you're welcome to do the same.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Devin wants to
You-
ask about magical item shops, even if Goldbrand may not.
Oh, please don't, because I have nothing prepared. I'll have
That's
to look up
fine.
a table.
That's
Okay. You just bought magical items. Don't get greedy. So you guys go to the Temple of Knowledge. While the Helm is not just a defender. He is known as the Watcher. He prides himself on being knowledgeable and therefore more capable of stopping threats before they arise. And this temple is, yeah, like succubi. You come in, and there is the stained glass front, but it is rows and rows and rows upon books. Several scholars dressed in white cloth robes walk through these aisles, carrying stacks themselves. And a rather friendly-looking woman approaches you. Light blonde hair, warm face, speckled with freckles, and wearing, while she has the same base white robe, she is wearing a golden sash around her as well, and also has a cord belt that looks to be of a yellow gold thread and is tied. And she goes, "Welcome to the Library of Justice. Please, what can I help you with today? That name sucks, but I just came up with it, so deal with it.
We're looking for any information on succubi.
I'm sorry?
I'm making a song. Kind of using succubus, as like the inspiration. Had an ex-girlfriend.
What's
Oh.
those? We have to kill ones. Can you help
Oh.
us or not?
Oh, of course, we deal with that thing all the time. Yes, yes. She snaps her fingers, and instantly 4 books drift off the shelf and come over and lay themselves before you. These provide you some information on the history. This one here provides you with knowledge of famous succubi in history. And this particular one will give you some information on their affinities, we'll say. So, what I'm going to ask of you, and anybody else who wants to partake in reading them, is to roll an investigation check.
Definitely want to find out their fetishes.
Solid. Everything. Everything.
I don't know why all of ours is saying no.
Yeah, that's really weird. It's obviously a Discord thing, or a Roll20 thing, but... all right, so is there... Okay, so you pour
I was
through...
thinking like abilities. The original question was
Yeah.
like, do they have true sight? Would they see through the dust of disappearance?
One other person can choose to roll as well, and it can be Valkyr or Tally or anyone.
I got Tally.
So
He's got a +3.
Yeah, I was gonna roll for him too if you needed me to.
That's
Just 'cause I
Tally.
can't read.
Okay. The two of you spend a couple of hours in the library. Altogether, we'll say about 3 hours. And you learn quite a bit, thankfully. You have learned that it is not unheard of for a succubus to take the place of a lady. You found that it's not common by any means, but it has happened a few times throughout history. Many lords have taken protections against such things, having certain protective sigils within their dwelling to try to prevent that type of demonic influence. But even those who do are not immune to their effects. You find that succubi come to you in dreams. First, indirectly, telling you what they want you to do, asking you to complete it, motivating you to do things that you would never seem feasible in your normal state. You learn quite a bit about their hardiness, we'll say. While they are not exceptionally hard to hit creatures, or particularly stout, they do resist quite the effects of many things. Cold damage, fire damage, lightning damage, and poison, and any bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing from non-magical attacks. They are quite capable of taking a few hits. In that regard, searching for things of their vision, you do learn that they are telepathic to a certain range, that they have dark vision, but don't seem to find anything on true sight. You obviously learn that they can shape change at will, and that they can charm individuals, and if they kiss this charmed individual, they drain their life force, not just damaging them and healing her, but limiting the life capacity of that creature. I'm doing my best not to say meta terms, but I think you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I am.
You also know that they originate in the lower planes, the 9 hells. They are winged, and they service devils, demons, night hags, several. You even find some names you don't recognize: Rakashas, Yugoloths. Yeah, sure, are scary meta-wise, but y'all don't know what the fuck that is.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'll say for those, that leaves a couple of things surprises, but that'll be the bulk of what you learn from your study. The librarian comes to you and says, "Is there anything else that you would be searching for this day? You spent quite a while hammering the books. We have some snacks over there at the bar if you'd like."
Ooh, cheese puffs.
Well, My first thought went to coffee because I'm a heathen.
That's all I had, but I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. And I will say this is a city that prides itself on its vigilance. If there is some other threat that you would like to look into, you might be able to here. Food for thought.
Wait a second. Do you have any books about the big things in the waters? Krakens.
Slack right now.
slack with Thel.
That's what we're supposed to say is that.
So you say this name. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with the term. You say it's the Kraken? We do have some information on Krakens.
That will have to do. I can't read. This is the episode that changes Goldbrand's like he's gonna go ask Daphne how to read now because you guys learned all that shit
Yes.
about succubi just from reading, and this is his like holy shits.
All I want is for you and Daphne to have what Pike and Grog had. Okay, that's all I want. Okay. She pulls over 2 books this time. Not as much knowledge to go around that's practical to the extent of what you need. I will need 1 or 2 people to roll another investigation check for me.
I mean, I can, but I was gonna
Are you
let y'all
smart?
do it.
Hell no.
It has no
Negative
bugs.
Hell
so-
no.
-1. I can do it.
Tally's got a +3. I got a +2.
Goldbrand's is also negative. What is
Those are probably the 2 higher, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
None of you are really intelligence-based casters or anything, so.
I only been hit that once. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's
Um,
tallies.
Oh, that was Tally's too. But
You rolled twice?
Yeah, I didn't mean to. Rowan right under the desk.
Hmm.
well, then I will roll for me.
There we go. That a boy. For a total of, as I like to say. So you learn a good bit. I mean, you learn that krakens are well feared, and for good reason. They are terrifying creatures. Not only are they enormous cephalopods. Cephalopods? Is that the right word?
I think so.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. They are enormous cephalopods that are gargantuan, massive to the point to where ships are but fodder to them. Not even taking seconds to eliminate entire crews and vessels. But they possess quite a bit of magical abilities. It's said that they have the ability to create lightning, that they can telepathically control other things, that they can cloud themselves with ink and escape if need be, or attack unseen. And that they have, in history, that krakens have pulled entire cities into the ocean. And you think back to Neverwinter you just left, literally built on a delta right by the river, or right by the sea, and you could very easily see something pulling those precariously placed towers into the ocean with ease. They are also amphibious. They do not need to reside under the water. They can choose to go beyond it. With a nat 20, I'll also tell you, they are immune to being paralyzed or frightened. They are also immune to lightning damage and any non-magical bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing. They, ironically enough, you find out that they do have true sight, which is good to know. But it's funny that you asked that on the other one, but it was on this one.
Right.
I'd say incredibly hardy. There have, I would say, in the 3 or 4 historical accounts, there have been some counterattacks, but none have ever slayed such a beast.
Oh shit.
It's
How do
pretty
we know
intense.
it's not the same as ones? Fuck stats.
Yeah, and it is difficult to say. The book goes on to say that there's no real method of identification. There's not necessarily distinct markings to go by to decide if they are different from the others.
Fuck's all
Yeah.
bits. Don't
I
like
think
it.
that'll be it.
The only other things I think we could maybe find information about are the Zents, but that's about it. That taps me out after that.
Hmm.
Having trouble
If you
thinking of anything else.
if you say the Zents, several books come over. This is an organization that the Order of Gauntlet has dealt with for centuries. Can you be a little more specific? What are you wanting to learn? She'll ask you, what, that's a broad topic. Are you wanting to know about their leaders, their methods? Are you wanting to learn about successful counterattacks on them? Are you wanting to learn about their conquests?
Let's do a record of leaders if they have it, and maybe the methods. A record of their methods. I know some of it may not be up to date, but
I was about to say, you find several leaders that are archived but are not alive. Many of these records go back, like I said, decades. So you do not manage to find much as far as, well, roll an investigation check. 2 people. It could be the same 2. That's rough. Was that Tally or was that you?
it was Tally.
Y'all, it's dense. Y'all get like 3. You get like another 2 hours into reading, and y'all, after reading for the Kraken and for this, Davos and Tally are fucking exhausted. Like, Goldbrand, can't you read some of this? Fuck.
No.
Lazy bum.
Think about it. I guess Tally wouldn't know how to read either.
Y'all, at this point, y'all have spent probably about 5 or 6 hours in this library. It has been dense coming through. But you don't manage to get too much. You know that they are, that's what I'm looking for. They're prevalent all over. And it's not something that you can really expect to, they obviously engage in secrecy primarily, but they have had influences through famous figures and been responsible for the rise and fall of leaders and the start and the ending of many wars. They've got their fingers in a lot of pots. It's a organization that prides itself on control and subliminal control.
It's the Dimir.
Basically, yeah. Except a little, maybe minus the mind wiping part. I don't know. Hang on, let me write that down. That's a good idea.
I want to talk to Goldbrand about this succubus. How the hell we're supposed to take this thing down? If no bludgeoning, piercing, non-magical attacks, and no elemental, I think maybe
Yeah,
psychic.
cold fire, lightning, I think, are out the bag. Resistance, I think.
Okay,
Maybe it was immune.
resistance.
No, hang on. Let me look. I think it was immune. You might be right.
Well, our weapons will hurt it, which is good.
Will they?
Yes.
Most
Just
of them
not
are
as
magical.
much.
Well, your weapons are magical. The slashing, piercing, bludgeoning is just non-magical slashing, piercing, bludgeoning.
I think everybody's got a magical weapon at this point.
Zad, is your bullets magic?
You technically do not have magic guns, but you do have the rune that makes you more proficient with them. Plus, you have your shots and stuff that you can use to make them magical.
But elemental resistance.
And that's fair, yeah.
I guess I have my trick shots, but they don't really do damage necessarily.
True. They
And I
apply
would.
status effects, which would maybe an important part of what you were just asking, Brandon.
Yeah, those things are resisted, not immune to.
But not resistant to the stun that his lightning shot applies.
Gotcha.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
not resistant to any conditions.
And I would share with the group that I have counter charm, which means as an action, I can give you guys advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed. But like, I would have to do that every time, or most. I would have to, hopefully go before the succubus.
Wait, read it? It gives them advantage on saving throws against being charmed?
As an action,
Because
you can perform until the end of your next turn. During that time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet that can hear you gain advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
so that would work if somebody, let's say Goldbrain gets charmed, and you do that, and then Goldbrain takes damage and has to make a save. He would get advantage on that second one. Which is that is solid. That's good to have.
That will be something somewhat difficult. Is Goldbrand won't be able to rage to soak up damage because I'll have to keep concentration on Moon. I guess I don't have to if we're in the. Never mind. If she's by herself in her castle, we're just gonna gank her.
Right, and then would you have to maintain the moonbeam to expose
Yeah.
her? Like if
It
you
is
did it for one
concentration.
round, I mean,
She could
people would have
change
seen.
back after Yeah.
I was about to say it doesn't like if she leaves it, it doesn't automatically happen, but she could polymorph again.
But it does damage. It may even do more damage to her. I mean, I'll have to double check that, but good source of damage. But that's mostly was to just try to. Goldbrand's of the impression that they'll just take the body out of the keep and be like, check this shit out. We killed this. It was pretending to be your lady. And if we can't do that for some reason or another, we find the living Lady Daggerford, which hopefully to God is still around
Alive.
somewhere. Fucking Mad Eye Moody in the bottom of a fucking trunk somewhere.
Right.
I briefly
I'm trying to
considered
remember,
it.
Did we see her
I
at
guess
all?
you
The
could
real
look
one?
for her.
You've never, as far as you know, you've never met the real Lady Daggerford.
Right. Okay. I think we just joked about the
With the
Mad
real
Eye
Lady
Moody thing
Daggerford.
somewhere.
Please
Yeah.
take that.
But if not, and we don't, if they don't believe us anyway, they would think we just ganked.
Their lady, yeah.
Yeah, we
But
can always
I
try
don't
to
know.
do
It's
that.
definitely
if
delicate.
the lady disappears
So-
and then we're saying it's a succubus and she never shows back up, maybe they would believe us.
Something also.
So, go ahead.
Something also to think about that occurred to me today is Devin is vaguely suspicious, pretty suspicious that the Zent and the succubus are connected. Like the Kella Darkhope as the fucking Scarlet, Lady Scarlet, the Lady Daggerford as the
The succubus.
the succubus. Thank you. And now they have Lord Umber and the snail working with the succubus, and I
Yes.
think this is all connected. The Zent are up to some funky shit. And I
You
don't
know that she's tied to the Zent.
Yeah, just because the snail was there.
because
Yeah. Well, even before that, Osvius's previous letter indicated that she had met with somebody who was shady, and he didn't know exactly who, but he knew the guy's name was the Snail. And you guys now know that the Snail is Zent because he talked about Nim, and bringing him in. So you don't know about Lord Umber per se, but you know that she's definitely doing dealings with him if she's not directly involved with him. So-
Kella's involved with this somehow because she's I wanted to verbalize this a couple of weeks ago, but it's been so long. Like she was planted there for a reason. Like she is not the Lord of, has not been Lord Scarlet long. Like there's a reason she's been put there.
Right.
And it's got to be connected to this somehow. Surely, I don't know what the fuck's.
If you'd
going on.
like,
I don't
we have some information on the Lords of Waterdeep, if you'd like me to pull what we have.
I was about to say, I think she was probably Scarlet because of whatever Scarlet handles, like the one dude, the churches and all that. Maybe Scarlet deals with trade or whatever, so she
deals with espionage.
Yeah, she is espionage.
She's their KGB, I guess is the best way to say it.
It doesn't make sense that a low-level Zent agent scoping a town was a lord of a city. That's not like spy master level work. It'll sit right with me. She was put there for a reason, and I forgot about it.
maybe because we didn't kill her and Joey's just a maniacal DM, devious DM. Either way,
Just wanted to
I would
verbalize that.
agree that she was not the Lady Scarlet when she was in Nightstone. Maybe she became
afterwards.
I would agree with that.
Have that vibe too.
Don't like it. I just want to kill something, preferably the succubus. It's the
Maybe-
most easiest target.
Maybe we can
Easiest.
find that guy that liked Lady Scarlet, and that would distract her if we got him to go, "Hey, we found your girlfriend. She wants to see you. She's in Waterdeep."
That's hilarious. The best part is we know what she looks like. We can go find her. Like she's not in. We
What
can
was
just make
his
her
name?
disappear.
I'm gonna have to go back and
Z-
figure out his boyfriend's name.
Zulkin, I think his name is.
Sultan.
Shut
I like
the
how this
fuck up.
started as how are we gonna sneak into the castle to how are we gonna off this one random agent?
I can tell you his exact name. I'll look it up real quick. You're close to a lot of stuff.
Are we on our way back home now?
No, you're
No,
still
we're
in
the-
Helmshold.
Oh yeah, we're still in the library.
Yeah, the librarian just offered you something, but y'all just ignored it. So
We just
she's
backseat.
wandered off.
We've spent a lot of time in the library today. Go
All
on,
right,
Sam.
Yeah.
here we
Let's
go.
get into the
Investigation for Waterdeep Lords.
Davos wants to know.
That didn't-
They get to the bottom of the steps of the library. Davos turns around, goes back.
Come on, Tally. Ah, that sucks.
I will tell you. Well, an 11's. I mean, this wasn't a particularly high check for what you're looking for. So Zulkin was his name, Xolkin. And with an 11, Tally finds a particular book that describes the past Lords of Waterdeep. For when a Lord dies, their identity is revealed. Just as the previous Lord Umber was discovered to be a member of Force Grey, the previous Lord Scarlet had been revealed as a... he's described as an adventurous merchant, we'll say, who had traveled among Faerun, done much business, and made a very wealthy penny for himself, and settled along with his armed guard in an estate in Waterdeep. And his name was Zulkin. The previous lord was the leader of the Seven Snakes. That has been a Zent role for at least a generation that you know, perhaps even longer. And there's something that rings out, something Kellis said at the ball. There are more Zent here than not. And you know the Zent have their fingers in many cities. You know that Loudwater is largely corrupt. You know that some of the cities of the north are. You know that they have a strong influence on this country. This is not some regional bandits. This is a continent-wide organization.
The Zentinati.
God damn it, Davos. Excellent. Okay, I didn't expect any of that. That was fun.
Good, yeah.
We'll say with that, you close the book on the library section, and you guys go ahead and head out. It is growing late in the evening. Between the mild shopping, the investigations of the library, you've probably been here for about 7-8ish hours. It's beginning to grow toward late evening, not quite dusk, but approaching. And you still have one matter of business that you need to attend to. Bergen, you know where to go, and guide your allies through the sharp, angular turns until the alleyways break to acres and acres of farmland.
Thought we were done with that.
No.
No, we did that before.
No, I meant the alleyways of the acres and the alliteration of all the A's.
Oh.
From this a-hole.
I thought I had a map for this place, but I don't. Let me look one more time. Did I miss it?
Shame.
High hollowed halls of Helmshold. High hollowed halls of Helmshold. Just for more alliteration. I don't have a map of it. I think I looked at a map of it. And it's like, it breaks from this dense city to almost an estate that is before the cathedral itself. And Helm's Cathedral is surrounded by statues of soldiers in heavy armor, faceless and cold. Their presence almost feels off-putting. And Zatari, with your stats, you would pick up that it almost feels like the helmets are like turning to watch you guys as you approach. And you see crossing the bridge to this place, there are knights, pious pilgrims, praying priests, and occasionally a small pairing of ordinary citizens or choir singers. When you enter the cathedral, you see enormous panes of stained glass and blues, golds, and silvers, depicting Helm, the eyes, and dozens of other deities, priests and knights that have been loyal to the Watcher. Davos, you notice a marked absence of the Dawnfather. You see the Earth Mother. You see a few other deities. Not yours.
Yeah, kind of know what that's about.
Dozens of long pews line a deep red carpet that softens the hard stone floor. Small wooden structures seem to act as confessionals, and several fountains are flowing smoothly. Candles and incense burn, giving the air a slight warmth and the aroma of sandalwood and balsam. At the back of this long cathedral, there are several figures in white robes, embroidered with golden thread, and you realize they look very similar to the librarian you had spoken to. They are currently wrapped with cerulean sashes, different than what the librarian had, but dignified in a way. Seem to be gathered in an amphitheater-type arrangement, facing the pulpit, the galleys, and the rows of pews. As you draw closer, 2 knights, fully covered in armor, block your way and ask your business.
We are here to see
The chief speaker.
the chief speaker.
And who would request an audience with Lightfoot?
Yes, please.
Who? I'm
Asking
asking
your
who.
name.
Oh,
Yeah.
very strange spur.
You. I like to imagine like you can't see his face, but somehow you still see his eyebrows raised. Like, he goes, Stonespire, and he looks you up and down, and he catches your gauntlet, and he sees, well, everyone here, not everyone, while most of the people here have the gauntlet of the Watcher with the eye on their palm, yours is unique in that it has that obsidian gemstone planted right in the middle. And this seems to be, for him, enough of a verification of who you are. That's a very specific thing that has made you a standout of sorts. The knights let you pass. And as you approach the speaker's assembly, the rulership of Helmshold, Chief Speaker Aramadine welcomes you. Ah! Find peace in your presence within the impregnable defenses of Helmshold. My children, approach Whitehawk Stonespire. It is a pleasure to have you grace our company.
Oh, pleasure's all mine.
You've
Seth,
made quite
put
a
your
name.
Guns away. This place has enough pews.
Oh my god. I have been broken. I'm torn between hating you and that being a really fucking good pun. Oh my god. Okay. Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I'm done. I'm sorry. No. Oh, okay. I'm gonna cut that whole minute-long intro. Anyway, you've made quite a name for yourself in short time, Stonespire. Lordship is not often a position our soldiers find themselves in, but as Helm seems to have guided you there, we are delighted to accept you as the anomaly. Please, what brings you to us this day?
Oh, I have something I must show him. I don't know if I should like just show this dude or let him know what that is, but it's important.
I think
Me
where we're
not
at,
having a
let's
clue,
just
you're not-
probably chill.
Yeah, all right.
You're not gonna pull your pants down, are you?
No. Yeah, I lifted up my hand. I shot my rang. My rang.
What you gonna do with
As-
this
as-
Stonespire?
So, tell me this. Your gauntlet is on your left hand. Do you wear the ring on your right or your left?
Ooh.
They don't have a major thing other than narrative purposes, but...
Piss. Let's say left.
Left? Okay.
Yeah.
You rise your hand to show your gauntlet, the obsidian and the gold clashing in a way, and you clench your fist, sort of show it to them, to have them focus on the ring rather than the emblem. And as you do, frost grows over your gauntlet a bit. You feel the chill of it, not enough to be hurtful, but enough to be a slight sting. You loosen your fingers a bit and shake, and immediately there are whispers, a couple of gasps. And as you explain what this artifact is, and how you came into possession of it, there are many reactions. Some cheer you, some seem apprehensive. You describe how, from the very beginning, Helm coming to you in your temple, sending you these visions, you acting as an agent of himself. All of this they were aware of course. But then you tell of the collapse of the Eye of the Allfather. You're holding the great structure aloft by Helm's might, buying you time to escape. You tell them of your defense of Bremen, saving lives by giving the city notice and risking yourself to defend it from frost giants. And then you tell them the tales of the trials of the Ring of Winter, much to the surprise of many of the speakers. And you had another dream. Not your dream about Storvold, but the dream in which you were before a fire. And you had in one hand, the effigy of Helm, the other, the effigy of yourself. And you cast the other, and seemed to have an almost demonic presence appear in your dream. Do you choose to share this, or do you choose to exclude it?
Oh, the demonic presence, or
The
the whole
the dream with
itself?
the devil, yeah, whole thing kind of thing.
Yeah, I will share.
Okay. The tone shifts again. Shocked, concerned. Uncertainty seems to have set in a bit. One speaker, not the high speaker, but one of the speakers gathered stands and says that the boy may be deceived. These may not be visions of Helm, but a demon that is feeding these to him. If this is the case, then it is not divine justice that has brought you here. It is a plan to rout us out. Another rises, and perhaps the thing is not trying to influence him. Perhaps it is another warning by Helm. Perhaps it is something he must be vigilant for. They bicker and squabble before the chief speaker silences them. And he says that your divine guidance is irrefutable and inherent. It should be trusted by the hearts of all the speakers. Do you have suspicions of what that presence may be?
Oh. Oh.
And it's,
Not specifically.
Yeah.
Generally.
and you haven't really been given much to take a proper stab at it, but he nods his head. Well, nonetheless, I suspect that you, as Helm's chosen, will keep your watchful eye on any such threat that may pose harm to the people and the continent.
That's what I do, bro.
Yeah, he'll fuck its ups.
You do
heal
much. You have gone much away to heal the image of Helm, if I may say. It was not long ago that Helmites were seen as confrontational. The rift between Helm and the Dawnfather had grown wide, but we are just beginning to enter a new era. To give ourselves to the younger hearts and minds, both of the Orders of Lathander and the Orders of Helm. Move past transgressions, as I believe we should. You are the perfect champion to do that. And for that, he takes his hands and he swirls them, almost Doctor Strange style, and a golden sigil appears before him, written in celestial several things. And he thrusts it towards you. And as it hits your new fucking awesome breastplate, it crashes against the chest and folds over your head and creates this sort of golden mantle. And he anoints you, Bergen, that you will henceforth be known by your new title as Stonespire the Vindicator. No more will you be a White Hawk. You have progressed and proven yourself as a true defender. As Nightstone seems to be attracting interest, if you can provide the necessary accommodations to house them, we are more than happy to provide you with a cavalry of our own knights, Helm's horses, numbering 24, and a horse for each man.
Oh shit!
As soon as you alert us that you have built the necessary accommodations, we will send them your way.
You sir, thank you, sir.
And unless you have anything else to say to the speakers, they allow you to proceed from the cathedral.
We take our leave, I imagine. Thanks. Take what I can get. Thank you.
Okay.
I like to think Gobram forever calls Bergen Vindicator now, because that's just badass.
Vindicators. That's in the book what the next rank
Oh,
in this
nice.
order is. It's and I just think that sounds cool as shit.
Pretty
Vindicator.
badass.
He puts the dick in
You-
Vindicator.
I'm gonna mute you, okay? You step out of the cathedral and find that it is dusk. You have spent much of your day learning, growing stronger, gaining powerful allies, and rising in the ranks yourselves. The cool air of the river contrasts nicely with the steamy warmth that was Neverwinter. And as you proceed to your airship, we're going to go ahead and take our break. I will see you dudes in about 5 to 10.
Popcorn break.
Popcorn! I was muted. You're welcome.
Also thinking about it, I'm half elf. I have advantage against being charmed. I think Tally might as well. Let me see.
Which is ironic since you're so damn charming. It's funny.
I feel like most of you guys hate me by this session, but
We'll see how it goes. I'm 80% of the way there.
I think I'm not sure if Valkyr, if Dark Elves would have the same advantage against being charmed.
Oh, that's racist. You saying dark elves are disadvantaged? Fuck you, man.
No,
I
being
think
that
that is. I think
me
that
and
is from
Tally are half
Elvish
elf.
ancestry, so I do believe they care.
right.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Holy crap! I have true sight to 120 feet.
What?
What?
Your crystal ball does.
Oh, okay.
Like when you're scrying, you have true sight.
Right. Okay.
Unless something else gave it to you.
No,
And
no,
if so,
that-
that's broken as fuck at level
No,
9, but
no.
okay.
That's why I was surprised. No. Okay.
We're level 9.
That's what
We're
it is.
basically gods.
You're almost demigods. You're not gods yet. There's still a lot of people on this continent that are more powerful than you.
Not for long.
I don't know about more powerful than Bergen the Vindicator.
On the way to Nightstone, you run into
Slockerthil.
Slockerthel, a demi-lich,
I was about to say a lich.
3 angry dragons, and let's go ahead and throw in a disgruntled former employee. I used to work at Nightstone, but they were just really bossy. I didn't like to clean up after them. The fucking live in woods. I was supposed to clean shit up. Terrible. Ugh. Anyway, is Josh with us?
Yes.
Solid. All right. Now that we have left Nightstone, we'll get back to the our journey. You guys have left Helm's Hold, and it is about a 5-day flight to Nightstone. If anyone wants to scry or prescience, now is a good time to do it.
I guess I'll try to go for the
Cool.
real Lady Daggerford.
Okay, you're not familiar with her, so it's a high DC.
Yeah.
But I'll roll for it. Oh. Pop it in chat for me?
All right.
Because I think there's a stipulation here that might be a technicality. I'm
This
sorry,
is
you
the
c-
crystal ball.
Yeah, I have to look up the scry spell. You're right.
I will do that for you if you'd like.
I'll look for a particular thing, and this way I don't have to read the whole thing. Because I think I know where it'll be.
You talking about the DC?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hang on.
Since I've never met,
You've never met her, yeah. You have heard of her. Sort of. It gets convoluted at this point. But
Yeah, it's-
you look in the crystal ball for a portion of your second day. Again, the sunlight dancing in the crystal as it moves. As the sun both drift in the sky and as you move further southward, the slow dot drifting forward on the deck before you, coming from the orb. No vision comes to you. Okay.
you
Anything
know,
else?
would I be able to tell? Is it because she's dead or just because it didn't work?
I don't think it would provide you with the information. You gather it could be one of those. Could be something
Okay.
else. You're not really super familiar with like an arcane artifact like this. But yeah, both of those are possibilities, I will say. Goldbrand, any prescience?
I think he is going to do it, but I'm having a real hard time deciding exactly what he. The shortest way I can put it is he wants to see all this poking around we're doing with Lady Daggerford. If we,
Mhm.
if we enact a plan, is that going to negatively affect the path?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you just want to see if attacking Lady Daggerford will negatively affect the path.
Yeah.
Roll for it.
He's going to take 3 hits on the first night, so there's plenty of time to get better. So this
Yeah.
would be an advantage and +2. Did the first one go?
Plus 2 more, so 30. Is that right?
Yeah.
Plus-
the axe gives
Plus 2
+3.
from the axe gives +2 plus +2 from the third hit. Is that right? So that's a 30.
Yeah.
You see, the stars are unsteady on this. But as you peer into it, now comfortable with searching through them while traveling, you find yourself in a vision, standing before a succubus. But you see other figures. You see the snail. You see Lord Umber. You see something else demonic. A little too distant to make out. But close. Winged, horned, unsettling. And eerily familiar. You gather that this is part of the path for you to strike down this woman who would be a threat to the continent, to the balance that is at stake here.
So Goran would gather that this is a requirement.
Well, and even more than that, even in the distance, closer than the other demonic figure, you see a tall mirror, full length, gilded. And in it, you see the reflection of what's behind you. A portrait upon the wall of Lady Daggerford. And with a 30, you see its eyes move. And we'll say that's all you get.
The fuck do I do with that?
It's
Do you
called
tell us
foreshadowing
this?
for a reason.
Do you tell us this?
Yeah, no. I like to think afterwards. The first thing you'll hear is "fucks." Goran
How the hell
explains
did you
all
put
of
Lady
that.
Daggerford into a painting?
Fuck's that? What the fuck's this? And he's looking at Bergen. What the fuck's is that things with the horns and the wings?
Are your visions
that
always
Bulgarian?
so literal, or are they ever like metaphorical or
Well,
subjective?
as of
They have been
10
both.
seconds, I was about to say, as of 10 seconds ago, this is something that is almost definitely likely to happen and needs to happen for's existence not to it.
No,
Sounds
just
like
for
we
her to
take her
fall,
down
not
in the
necessarily.
chamber.
Yeah, just for her to fall, not for us necessarily to like preemptively strike her per se.
That seems to be the case. Now, any number of actions could change this at any time. It's not set in stone, so to speak, but as of the time that he looked, this apparently
Right.
needs to happen to keep
So-
the Giants from winning, is what Goldbrand thinks. Now.
I will retcon one thing. You do have to take her down. The location is optional. That is one possibility. That was just because you rolled a 30 and I wanted to give you some fucking powdered sugar on your goddamn donut, you know?
Do you like donuts?
A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
No, that was a lot. I am.
Pippin, now fucking goddamn Mary Poppins. Who the fuck are you?
Mary Pippins. No,
Mary Pippins.
I have a question. If we go to Nightstone and protect it and not take her down first, I mean, is there any reason we couldn't take her down later? I mean, other than she might be more likely to expect it.
Just that she'll continue to commit subterfuge and to manipulate and attack through subterfuge. But
You're also assuming that you repel the attack on Nightstone.
That is an assumption, yes.
At this point, you know that Umber has the Lord's Alliance as his under his command. We'll say, you know that the Snail has the Zent, and you know that Lady Waterdeep, as a lord, has access to the Lord's Alliance, but also other things.
Do we know that killing her, though, would stop all of those attacks?
it will stop the things plotting all of those attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, at the
Okay.
very least, it knocks a dent in
Before-
Zant plans and in an immediate threat.
Let's go ahead and call a vote to it. Before you guys get to Nightstone, tell me, do you choose to preemptive strike, or do you choose to wait for her to attack on the 14th of Elliot?
Shit.
One option for shit. Heard?
After
y'all
that
already
vision, I gotta say preemptive.
Y'all already
Preemptive,
know
okay.
what I'm thinking. I've been saying it since
Yeah.
I got started.
Alright, yeah, fuck it. Preemptive.
Oh, God. All right.
What do you think,
Is that...
Josh?
I like just got back, so I missed your whole vision. But let's just kill her. So,
Good call. Good call.
I figured Josh would be like, nah, let's just kill her.
yeah.
With that,
Yeah. And like Joey said, we're assuming that we could even repel that attack, so maybe we couldn't. Maybe this is the way.
Right.
this is the way. Do you know the way? All right. So you guys, on the 5th day, arrive back at Nightstone. A comforting sight. Once again, returning home. Even for you, Bergen, who just came from your hometown, you've come to think of Nightstone as your true home. Which is odd, but it's maybe it's not how you feel, but just sort of an unexpected warmth that you weren't necessarily anticipating.
I could totally
As you
see that
arrive.
right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't want to speak for your character and say, "Oh, this is your home now. You feel it." Like,
No,
but
absolutely. Been
I
there
feel like you
long
guys are-
enough, sure.
yeah, it's
Protecting
been
it,
several months,
bleeding for
exactly.
it, fighting for it.
Yeah. So, as you get there, Daphne, Sidiri, and Gideon meet you at the gates. Daphne is happy to report that everything is running smoothly. I am in the works of helping provide the keep with magical protection, with the help of Donovan. He has traveled to Waterdeep to acquire some information for us. It will help us protect against the scrying that Lord Valkyr had warned me about. Sidiri tells you that I've been hard at work preparing troops for any upcoming conflict. Miros has been refining arms and armor, and we've been productively training within the new barracks. We've also had Thara, Rond, and Hydia all been very cooperative in our endeavors. And Gideon is very excited to say that, Davos, watch this! And he takes out like a pair of bongos and just goes to fucking town. And you watch as Sirius just yawns and goes down. And he's like, I think that worked. I'm not 100% sure, but it works pretty consistently. Like 50% of the time, it works every time.
That's pretty good there, Gideon.
Oh, did I call him 285 again? Or did I say...
No, you said Gideon.
Okay, good. I just want to say, sorry.
I too started on the house dog.
I also got to tell you, I have been practicing the rocks, and Sidiri, like, no, yes. And he, like, pulls his helm back, and you see, like, a goose egg on the side of his head here.
At least it was a
and-
good shot.
Yeah, and he goes, well, to be fair, I wasn't aiming for him, but, you know. But I've been practicing very hard, and, but I haven't been able to learn the Word of Radiance, the spell that you tried to teach me, Bergen. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm, I don't know, a holy kind of caster. Maybe it's something beyond me. I don't know what I am, though. Do you guys know?
It's weird that he can.
So he may or may not be able to cast sleep.
Well, sleep is.
I would imagine
Oh.
bongos wouldn't make a dog fall asleep.
You could roll an Arcana check or I'll even say a performance check to judge his performance and see if like it was successful.
Is that I might have had?
I was about to say that's perception.
Sorry.
There we go.
That's better. You gather that it worked. Now it's not just because he's using the drums doesn't necessarily mean it's a bard thing, but it's an indicator that's a possibility.
Right.
And it might be just that you taught him through music that he is trying that's how he's accessing that magic.
Right.
But do you guys have any theories or want to try to ask or ascertain anything?
He's not a barbarian.
Well, yeah. So if he's not a cleric,
He like flexes, but it's like like a potato, like a
so
russet potato.
not a cleric, not a wizard, because wizards can't, or maybe not a
Wizards.
sorcerer. They can,
I was thinking sorcerers isn't that natural magic?
yeah, but I don't know if they can get. Wizards can get almost any spell, which is the only class that can get any spell from like could even get cleric spells is a bard, because they get that thing that lets them pick spells from any spell list.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a
Right.
oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, they get like.
I mean, there's also feats that let you pick,
That's true.
a couple of cantrips and a spell from any
I think
class.
sorcerer is possible. I don't think he's exactly a druid, just because he can cast a druid spell. That's the only druid class is the only one I know of that gets that spell.
It's interesting.
You didn't make a pact with anybody recently, did you?
A what?
I'm glad you asked.
Like
A what?
Did you have any visits from like any like messages in your mind from
Do you ever see a
Somebody?
big winged scary
No,
thing?
no.
you didn't promise
Well-
to like conquer in the name of Zafuhiri or any other name?
No. But the day I was freed, I told you that I thought magic was involved. I just got this. It wasn't a voice. It was just a feeling. Like if I were to do whatever it took, that I could free myself and all these people and avenge my mother.
He's a fucking warlock.
You might gather that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounded like. Hey, don't go into the Fae.
Don't talk. You hear
oh,
the voice
okay.
again? Don't talk to it. You goes and tells Mustache things.
Well, it wasn't a voice. I know what hearing voices is. I mean, Tally's talked to me before. This was, I don't know. It was like a gut feeling. It was like a
But it was a good feeling?
yes. It wanted to free me. That has to be good, right?
Isn't that like the start of every horror movie? Like, I kind of want to say the Kraken's name, but I kind of don't want to see Gideon take the water.
Oh god, don't even say that. No.
No, I know,
Don't
but
even
now
imply
Joey's
that.
thinking it.
I mean, I wasn't, but now I am. Like, that's fucked up.
I know. That
The
was-
I think the octopus told me. Yeah, that's right. The octopus in the pit right here. Yeah.
That's-
We talk all the time.
That's worse than killing one of our pets.
Killing your kid.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But like via
I
that.
mean, yeah. I mean,
I'm
I'm not confirming or denying anything.
Someone goes,
My
Doc
guess
here, gotta
is,
teach you how to blast. We'll find out for sure. See if he
Right.
can blast.
If you say that,
Oh gosh. It's a
This was a
sorcerer.
Ooh,
terrible idea. Oh,
when,
no.
so you watch as Valkyr she's disapparates his weapons because he can, and he's a badass. He could do that. Doesn't have sheaths, and he shows him. All right, so what I do is I gather it up here, and I like to say Kamehame, and he Valkyr fires off I think 3 now, and they go and they blacken part of the stone wall, and Gideon gets up and he tries Sensu beam. Doesn't quite seem to get it, but just as he's about to give up, he like punches out of frustration. and a burst of a bluish energy flies out of his hand and crashes into the wall. And he's just performed an Eldritch Blast. And he fucking loses it. He's like, that wasn't a rock! That wasn't putting a dog! That was a fucking fireball! He is over the moon.
Don't let Daphne hear you talks like that.
So we have a little sorcerer on our hands.
A warlock.
Little warlock. Yeah, warlock's the
That
one
was
that's
an
getting Eldritch Blast.
Blast.
No, I know. Oh gosh, please don't.
Yeah.
Maybe a little.
Maybe we don't talk about that around him. That was
No
very
going
good.
into the woods by yourself.
That's oddly specific, but okay.
Don't forget you can do that. It will save your lives. Ask that once. What's the fuck here?
He goes. No, yes, yeah. I'll practice right away. He also tells you that he's this was something that I should have said beforehand, but we got down the fun stuff and I got excited. He also tells you that since you've been gone, he's been I was thinking the same thing, Devin, yeah. He's spent time among the youth guard, and he's gotten to know the tribesmen a little better. He says, Hydia, she took me hunting, but she killed everything before I could.
She's good at that.
But yeah, really good at it. It's like annoying. That's the only thing for other thing for Gideon. You guys come in, and a couple of things I want to remind you of. You can have some things crafted if you would like. You can utilize some of those monster parts in your bag for special armor, special weapons, with various effects depending on the item. You can also make spell scrolls up to level 5 now. And if someone in your keep can cast that spell, which now that you have Donovan increases your pool quite a bit, you can get some of those made. Tux, the merchant, can sell anything you want to liquidate. He can also order anything that you can't buy normally, and have it here before you guys choose to leave. And there's tons of materials in the bag of holding. I'll delete this thing about the shard and the pennant runes, but I think you guys use them well, so.
I already have an idea of one thing I want, so y'all go ahead if you.
Definitely scroll-wise, if we can get like invisibility or anything to increase stealth.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been thinking.
Like I don't know. We have pass without a trace, but if there is invisibility,
What we maybe could do, I don't know how long this will take us. We can make scrolls for Pass Without a Trace too, and that will save me spell slots. We can cast it more times. But I also agree that invisibility would be helpful, or anything that would help the whole group.
Daphne says she can do a greater invisibility scroll, which is a 4th level spell, because Donovan would have access to this spell. You could also have the Pass Without Trace made, because Goldbrain has it. That doesn't have an upcast effect, does it? Like, you don't get to add anything if you upcast it. I can pull that.
Well, I got you. I don't think
Okay.
so. But I'll check.
I will say greater invisibility only works on a creature at a time, so you'd have to have multiple scrolls. There is a little bit of a gold cost just because she needs the vellum and the ink, but it's significantly less than buying that scroll.
Pass Without a Trace cannot be upcast
Cannot be heard.
because it's already the perfect spell.
Yeah. Accurate.
Love it. So Goldbrand wants to have armor made out of one set of the Rimmer Haze plates.
How many do you have? 6 or 5?
We have 2 sets worth of armor total, I believe.
What's the total number of plates? And I'll tell you. 'Cause
2.
I think you have enough for an armor and a shield, but not an armor. Or not 2 sets of
You're
armor. But that depends on if it's 5 or 6.
It says 6 Rimmer Haze plates.
Excellent. That is 2 armors worth of plates.
So Goldbrand wants to make one, and y'all are very welcome to
So-
claim the other 3 plates if y'all want it. But if not, I has an idea for it.
If you want it turned into armor, yeah.
Mhm.
It would
What
be
is
the
the,
equivalent of scale mail with some added effects.
that's heavy.
That is a medium armor.
Does it give me a disadvantage on stealth checks?
I'm trying to decide because scale mail does, but your centipede armor is also scale mail, and it doesn't. But this carries some extra effects with it that will make it worth that upgrade.
What's the AC on that?
14 plus your dex mod, up, so between 14 and 16. Now, if you want it made into, excuse me, Brandon, you have chainmail? What do you have?
I have a chain shirt, which says
Chain
it's medium
shirt.
armor for AC 13.
This is at least one AC higher than that, plus some special stuff.
But I would have disadvantage on stealth.
You would have, well, let me look at the stealth score of a Rimmer Haze, and that's how I'll decide this.
Because I don't have any modifiers for some reason to my stealth.
Yeah, I don't either. We can always have them commissioned and then
In fact, I want
just
to
come back and get them after our stealth mission.
look at it because my sleight of hand is a +5, but my stealth is a 0, and they're both half proficient.
So, Rimmer Hazes do not have any type of proficiency in stealth, so I'm going to say it would retain the disadvantage. But it would make you resistant to both cold and fire damage.
I mean, we have those clothes for cold.
You do have those clothes for cold immunity. Cold immunity? Cold
Oh.
resistance.
Resistance.
I would say you could use the Rimmer Haze plates to upgrade that further to make it cold immunity and fire resistance. For what it's worth.
Maybe later.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's up to you if you want it or not. I think I will pass because I have my resistances can't stack, and I don't need the disadvantage to stealth. That would ruin all stealth missions forever.
Gotcha. So you're not commissioning anything from monster parts. Or you're not let me rephrase that.
Not from
You're not
those
commissioning weapons or armor.
Not from those monster parts. The only ones
Any
I
other
had-
monster parts.
The only ones I had remembered. If we still
Okay.
have the fucking Valora's head, I want to make a helmet out of it.
That has been this was going to pop up later, but we'll actually jump down there. Donovan tells you he thanks you. Thank you, lords, for returning the head of Valora. It is I have fashioned it to a trophy for you now that I am done with it. You're not missing the crystal ball, so he doesn't notice that. I was fascinated to hear of your encounter with the Eisendrag, the White Dragon of the North. It's quite a fearsome foe to go up against. I should also tell you I've learned more about the Nightstone if you would like to hear it. He takes you up to the keep, lays out a large scroll that he has several scribblings on, and in the center of it, he has weighted down the rubbing that you gave him. From what you were told me, I was able to pull this information. The Nightstone was called the Nokdodstein in ancient giant lore of Old Astoria. It was an artifact created by the Dodkong, but not alone. A dragon and a devil aided him in creating this artifact, combining 3 types of ancient magic to create something more powerful than anyone had created on their own before. The artifact was so feared that it was believed to be one of the reasons the 1,000-year war was ended, as both giants and dragons united against the stone's creators. It is also why the Dodkong, a powerful stone giant, was exiled from his people. After the giants and dragons launched a fearsome force against the dragon, the devil, and the Dodkong, the artifact was said to be lost, spirited away by the Dodkong in an effort to preserve his creation. But as he was transporting it, he was struck down, and the item never reached its intended destination, which was lost for centuries. That was until humans found it, who had taken up forestry on the edges of what was once the Arctic Forest, and began clearing out trees that had concealed it. The humans, not knowing what they had discovered, founded their city around the obsidian-like rock and dubbed it Nightstone. Once the ordning was broken, Countess Sansuri must have taken advantage of Hecaton's absence, and used the opportunity to search for the ancient relic. But what the stone does, and what she intends to use it for, is unknown. That is all I could find from the rubbing that you provided me. But if you have any information, any further information, I would be very willing to hear it.
Further information?
and or the artifact itself. He doesn't know you have it, so I'm not going to make him mention that, but you guys do have the actual artifact.
But he got all of the information off of it that he, like off the rubbing, didn't he?
No?
No.
Think about it. Oh, this is a magical artifact. It possesses some innate qualities that he can ascertain from the stone itself that he can't from just the rune that was drawn on it. Like, I can't touch the drawing of a rune and decide what magic that was, but I can with a magical item.
No, I feel you. How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like he's trustworthy? I was a little sus at first, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's alright.
Yeah.
That was a very unconvincing yeah, Brandon.
Like,
Oh, I never poured my drink.
before, if you would have asked me if he was trustworthy, I would have said yeah, for sure. So, like, I guess that didn't change. I guess I'm just, in my mind, deciding, trying to figure out what Joey's going to do with that.
maybe he really will help us. I think he's.
Davos
I don't-
trusts some
I don't know.
Brandon, just
I was gonna ask.
wonders what
he
Mr.
wants
Dark
to
and
go-
Stormy's doing.
I want to ask him if he wants to go with us to look at the Nightstone. We don't have to tell him it's in Sensori's castle. We'll just tell him we know where it is, and we're gonna go look at it.
Wait. Oh,
So don't let him have it, but just look at it for a minute.
Yeah, the actual Nightstone. We'll take him to Sensori's castle with us. Be like, read this shit, then we're leaving.
oh, the whole thing.
yeah,
Oh.
we can take you through the Nightstone, buddy.
I mean, I know that I've been informed that Countess Sensori was the one who took it, but I don't know how keen they would be on me studying it. I mean, this was several sleepless nights, mostly sleepless, that I spent divining this information. I had to travel to Waterdeep and to Daggerford, both of them, to get the necessary information I needed. And even then, it was slim picking. I don't know if you've spent some time in a library recently, but it takes some fucking time to read some fucking books.
It's children's talks.
Where did you say you were from? You're not from Waterdeep, huh?
No, I'm from up north, near Silvery Moon, which you guys know is one of the larger cities of the north.
Did you tell anybody in Waterdeep what you were doing?
Oh, no, of course not. I did my best to avoid my name if I could. I went only to public institutions, and was able to select the tomes I needed myself, not trying to arouse too much suspicion.
Good thinking. Yeah, I trust him.
I guess.
But you didn't insight check him, you fucking fool. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So you guys you don't want to show him the fragment, but you want to tell him that you'll let him see the real the full Nightstone to...
No, I mean we can, as long, under the condition it stays in the library like the rubbing. I guess we can provide him the thing to study. It's just sitting in our bag otherwise.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
He watches as for about 2 minutes. You guys kind of eye each other, and Tally's telepathically helping you guys communicate, but he doesn't know that. He's just like, oh, okay, I'll just stand here then. But after a moment, imagine that's pretty funny as you all just start doing really sus faces, like... when Tally pulls that out of the bag, his jaw drops. He goes, I had wondered if there was more that you possessed. And this is beyond my wildest dreams. I thought that maybe there was a book of rubbings and you had provided me really Rhonda, but this is incredible. May I? And he holds out his hands. He takes it, and he traces his hands over the rune. First the full thing, and then he doubles back and does the 3 individual runes that he knows comprise of it.
Gobran slowly takes his axe out, like apprehensively.
He goes, oh, it is certainly necromantic energy that this stone emanates, which I had hazarded to guess. I mean, with runes that are ceaseless, unyielding death, it does sound pretty necromantic, doesn't it?
I was thinking the same.
But if you allow me to study this, when you return next, I will hopefully have much more information from you. This goes so much farther than paper does. Thank you for trusting me. I know that's was not an easy thing to do.
We'll kill you
Um,
if you, you know,
That's what I was.
betray
He
us.
smiles.
Yeah, fuck it up. I'll kill you.
You guys make the same arrangement. It stays in the library and he's supervised while using it. Not necessarily always by Daphne, but at least a guard or two, are present to make sure that nothing funky's going on. Let me scroll back up. You guys decided to attack her? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, we'll get 2 or 3 things out of the way, and then we'll do that. First, you guys get an update from Derek. The gentleman of the Iron Ring, gentleman, being a stretch of the word, that you guys had sent down to investigate further and act as a double agent. For one thing, his sister has arrived in Waterdeep, as Daphne tells you, and is set up nicely.
Is she being watched?
She has been placed under the protection of the Nightstone Watch, which comes with its own air of vigilance and the fact that they know where she is. Derek also tells you that the Horned Dwarf is mobilizing loads of people. Slaves, guards, even hiring new people on. Something big's about to go down. He doesn't know what.
It's us,
hasn't been-
bitches.
It's us, bitches! Yeah, you're right. Torum and the Ardeep Rangers have returned? Is that what we said? Returned?
Yeah.
Okay, so Torum Breck, who's the lieutenant, and the Nightstone Guard and Ardeep Rangers that went with him to Eastwatch have returned back into town. They passed along the message to Succumber, who said that he would fortify accordingly and do his best to withstand the strike if they chose to attack. At this point, help! I just saw that. Wow. Oh god, it keeps going. Oh my god. What? Oh, wow. That is a masterpiece. How did I not see that?
It's
Are you
been
guys
on
seeing
there
what
for
I'm
a
seeing?
long time.
Oh my god. The Kraken. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing on the map?
Yes, that's
That's-
actually pretty dope.
It's a really good,
Yeah.
really good Patrick, actually. I'm impressed.
Oh, man.
10-10.
Thank you.
Fuck, I've lost all my sense of where I am now. They've came back. Miros has finished your barding for your Pegasus, Raven, Griffin, and Face Stag. He tells Valkyr and Zatari he'll have both of you armor made up since your mounts are new, and he'll have those ready before you guys go. Davos, you stop by the tavern at some point, and you've brought Capo with you, and immediately the band begins mingling, talking, and Frida is also there, and she looks at you, and she points to you, and she points to Orin. Blows you a kiss.
Nope.
No. You shake your head, and she like,
I like to think Davos flashes his ring, like, bitch, I'm.
it's like, a deal's a deal, Davy boy.
Did I say the cheek? I'm trying to remember the deal. It wasn't.
You said to plant one on him. I don't know if it ever specified where.
I guess I would
The belly button.
embrace Orin and like like the European.
You do it, and or it's like, oh, Davos, what the fuck are you doing, man? It's like, I knew I would. He like pops the button loose. I knew my charms would work on you one day. No,
That was
I
from
can't.
Frida.
And she gives a giggle and a wave, and he goes, I still don't remember that fucking kiss. I think she's making it up. Capo seems to fit in well. They're talking. They're sort of trading advice, and you realize now that you have them all here. You've got Glissanda, who creates snow as she plays. You've got Timpani, who strikes with thunderous force that literally blasts you back a little bit. You have Medley, who stirs up the winds as she plays. You have Mezzo, who summons the sparks. You have Capo, that makes little bolts of lightning as he plays. You've got an elemental menagerie here. And then you've got Orin.
With our powers combined, we form
Voltar!
Captain Planet.
They do ask you, so Orin's like, you did good, lads. You got everyone on my list. Now the only question is, are we still the Fae Fighters? Or are we something new? We don't have to decide today, but we will have to make up our minds sooner or later.
Indeed.
They toss a few around. Tenacious Davos, the Battle Bards, the Fae Fuckers.
Whoa.
And this isn't a concert per se. Well, it is actually, I guess. So you guys all together decide to have your first jam session. And I don't have anything narrated for this. It's just a really fucking cool track that I really enjoyed. This is from Rockin' 1000, and it's 1000 musicians playing Learn to Fly, which is kind of cool. So you guys can turn that down because we're just going to use it for background music. But you guys have your jam session, and the synergy is just there. I mean, it's like, without even added effects, you guys are your own full show. The sparks making your lighting, the thunder providing that bassy sound, the snow and the wind creating the atmosphere that's just, it's beautiful. And after the concert, you go to take your drink, and Helena slides up beside you. And she tells you, so I've got news. You told me to do a little digging on the bloodweed and try to see what I could find out.
Yeah.
Well, I smoked a few of those and a
God.
few dubs, and I tried to look at the stars. And while I didn't learn anything like he does, but that was trippy. So I've been working with it, and I've cut it with some Hyacinthian nectar and some lavender sprigs, and I could find all this around here, but I found a way to make the after effects a little less.
Yes.
And I can... And Goldbrain, I imagine you're in the tavern. You can now take multiple doses of bloodweed, and the consequences are 1 tier less. So if you take 3, you get the 3 perks, but you only take the level 2 negative.
You're welcome.
That's actually pretty neat. I've never used
No, yeah.
lavenders before. So we'll start skipping that.
You should. You should. She also says, well, I saw you when you came last time with your fucking Pegasus, and you haven't even offered to take me on a ride yet.
Shame on you.
I just
Sullivan.
pictured Aladdin and Jasmine.
So, are we gonna go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I figured
we
this
can
would be perfect with Learn to Fly playing in the background.
Toss her the bones.
You take her up, and the Griffin or the Pegasus doesn't have barding on it, so it's not overweighted. But you glide around, and now that you know a few things, you do a few tricks. You do a few like sharp sways. You do not quite a full loop de loop, but almost like a corkscrew. And she is surprised to take to it very naturally. And you as well, like, the first time, well, you got like 8 out of 5 of your checks, like more than I even gave you, because you got like 2 20s in that mix. So you just feel like there's that special connection that you're both in tune with this animal so well. She finds the whole thing extremely romantic, and ask if you're still working on your songs, and if so, what you're cooking up.
Something about serpents under the stone and panthers in trees.
She goes, "Ooh, it sounds dangerous. I like it."
Hashtag life story.
Helena is delighted and has gotten her thrill ride for the week. In fact, every time you go, she's probably gonna, we won't narrate it every time, but she's probably gonna want some more of that.
Yeah.
Also, Osvius has returned. And he tells you that after the ball, Daggerford almost went on lockdown. Like, he was very close to getting trapped inside the keep because of how quickly things shut down. He tells you that he's more than happy to stay in Nightstone and keep an eye on things and, act as a counter agent, so to speak. He also tells you that he can help with whatever else you're working on. If you want to learn more about the Iron Ring or the Kraken Society, that he can try to go out in the world and find more information on them. Food for thought. Also suggests that, or also tells you he's already keeping tabs on the new merchants that have arrived from Daggerford. because during the ball you guys did open up trade again on the condition they provided different goods. And the market, it does reflect that. There's 2 or 3 vendors, and not all of them are from Waterdeep. I think 2 of them are. Excuse me, not all of them are from Daggerford. 2 of them are. One of them is from, we'll say, Golden Fields, and are, setting up your town center is becoming a market-like environment rather than just the one shop. And there's no suspicious activity yet, but he's keeping an eye on it.
This makes me think Goldbrand. The Zent usually deals with subterfuge, so why is she
Subtlefudge.
Subtlefudge? Why is she calling for an all-out affront on Nightstone now?
That's a good question.
I think that was part of my point earlier, was that that's not going to be the case. Something's going to happen that extraordinarily tips things into her favor. She wouldn't just try to take us in a straight-out fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason I want to go gank her first, because I am afraid of whatever that thing is.
Anyone who wants to can roll an investigation or a history check
On
on roll 20.
No, I meant like what are we rolling for?
Well,
Okay, yes.
you'll find out if you roll high enough.
Alright.
You're not gonna find out.
That was tally.
I'd say I'll allow 3 people to check this. That's half the party. So 1's done.
Bergen, what are you on history?
I think they're both intelligence based.
Yeah, they
Probably
are.
about the same.
Oops, sorry, I was muted.
Wait. One other person. Davos, I think you've got the higher.
On history?
And
On
it's investigation.
either of them, yeah?
I got a +2
I
both.
got -1, so
All right, let's go history. Yes.
Okay, that's not bad. You know that she's spying on you guys. And you know that she knows that you know that she's connected to the Zent, which is kind of a red flag. You also know from Osvius that she knows that she's being spied upon. She didn't know precisely who or where, but she was picking up that there was a presence that shouldn't be there. And if she suspects that you found out that she was a succubus, that she might do anything to silence that. That might be a large part of this motivation for attack. Especially after you guys having seen her and parlayed with her at the Shield Meatball.
I'm not sure if us trying to convince her we're all of a sudden Zent would trick her then. Or
Not
do you
that-
think it could still work?
Well, not that you're Zent, just that 2 members of the party are willing to backstab the rest to get Nightstone to themselves. That would take some time, and if she believed it, it might work in our favor, but that was mostly just to try to draw her out to gank her. We may have to just go in and get her, but that sounds like it's going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm. We do have flying animals.
True.
I don't know. Do they have like siege equipment, ballistas, all that?
Yeah.
The animals? No.
No,
The
castle
the
water
keep
deep.
the
Yeah.
the Daggerford Castle does have siege equipment, yeah.
Alright.
I mean, there are a couple of options. I'm afraid that getting in may not be the hard part so much as finding her after we do. Do any of you have a ways to find motherfuckers?
I mean, I got the crystal ball.
Not exactly. I'm just gonna look this up because I don't know if I have it or not. I don't know if I can get it or not. I can't cast that level of spell. It is
Do
on
we
the
have a
It is on the druid
scroll?
spell list though. So Goldbrand says there is a spell that lets you locates peoples or animals.
Do
If
we
the
get-
living things, then it's close enough so you can go find it.
Can we get a scroll for that, like we did for the invisibility?
I think so.
If someone in the keep can cast it, you're doing locate creature or animal.
I think it is locate creatures, what it's called. If that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm assuming a human is a creature, or what's it called? Is a succubus is a creature.
Yeah, anything that's alive is a creature. A dog's a creature, or
It
a
looks
rabbit,
like
a human.
several of us can cast it. Goldbrand is just not a high enough level to cast it.
What level is it? 4th?
Yeah.
That's within her capabilities.
Are we gonna tell Lady
we'll say
Sackler
that-
about this? Are we gonna ask her to gank with us?
It's a very good question.
Or to let us in? She would know maybe how we could get in.
That's a good idea. We may call her in a second. What were you gonna say, DM?
You can get locate creature because one of your clerics, one of the Knights of Helm, will know the spell that you need and can
So we can
make that into a scroll. That's a 4th level scroll, so Daphne is gonna need 600 gold. Devin, if you'll subtract that and then add the scroll,
Is it just for one of them?
that's just for one. Yeah.
What do y'all think? Do you want a second one or not?
How long does it last? Is it a time thing or a?
You sense its location as long as it's within 1,000 feet. If it's moving, you know how it's moving.
It is concentration
And
after 1 hour.
you know the true identity of the creature, the succubus, so you don't have to. There's normally a clause like if you were looking for Lady Daggerford, it would have difficulty finding the succubus, but since you know the true identity.
Yeah, less than an hour.
As long as we were within 1,000 feet. Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Guess we'll just
So you
do
get one
one.
made. Yeah.
Do we have to use
For-
the mirror to call Cephine?
You would.
I think our handheld mirror is not bugged. It's the standing mirror in the castle that's
Right,
bugged,
right.
right?
You are
Right.
correct. Yeah. You
Can
use
we-
your hand mirror, presumably away from the keep.
Yeah,
The mist grows blue and it fades in, and you see Saphine, and you're almost a little surprised. Saphine is a beautiful woman, well composed, well adorned with jewelry, and you see her not quite looking herself. There's no jewelry upon her neck. Even the rings upon her horn are absent. And her dark hair, normally long and straight, seems a little ruffled. She goes, my lords, I'm sorry, I caught me off guard there. What can Saphine help you with?
What you do?
You pooping?
No one, no one, and gives you a wink.
Insight check? Like, this
You
is,
will
this
insight
is
check.
actually
I think that
Saphine?
means she has company.
Yeah, that is fine. I just want to make sure that's actually Saphine.
That's 20. No, yeah, it's Saphine. She's doing the nasty and the pasty. I mean,
well,
not the pasty.
Don't give a
But
shit about that.
You want to call
you get
us
a very PG-13 like upper chest view, like no nipple, but you see some upper boob.
back? You want to call us back later?
That would be nice. About 20 minutes later, you get a call back from not clothed, not visibly naked, but which is she doesn't actually contact you through the mirror. She scries upon you using the mirror as the reflective surface. You can see her, she can see you. But it's not using a spell charge on the mirror itself. Thank you for your patience, Shug. What can I do for you today? And no, I won't do the same.
The
I
same.
see.
Oh, what?
No.
Talking about
What
the
you
nasty.
need?
We need a way into Waterdeep, into Daggerford Castle,
Daggerford Castle.
into the Queen's chambers.
It's funny. I'm working on a few things myself in that regard. I when you told me of Lady Daggerford being a succubus, I knew there were a few things that I would have to a few forces I would have to gather. I'm very close to making a breakthrough with a contact who will change the game. but I need time, Shug. This isn't somebody you just kick down their door and tell them to race off with you.
You just kick down their door and tell them to lay next to you?
It's not. No, it's not him, Shug. Or her, for that matter. And I like to think she adjusts the screen. It's not a single individual. There's a couple people in Safine's bed, man and woman. And she goes, no, this person is a little higher up the food chain, but I'm close. A few
How
more
close?
days.
We only have insert DM's knowledge of the actual
this
days
many.
here.
So
This video.
it is technically, you were technically on the 3rd of Eliant. It's just over a 10-day before the attack. So you have a few days before they attack. But if you want to counter a strike, you need to do that sooner rather than later.
And this would give us a way to confront her
Yeah,
directly.
confront her.
It would be a way to defang the Viper, if you will.
To keep.
I don't want to...
Oh, to. Sounds like she might be able to help
We're
out.
kind of
with
looking to cut off the head of the
innumerable-
whole snake.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
we'll get to that, Shug, but once you defang it, it's that much easier to do.
Oh, I think I follow.
Right now, she's behind several hundred troops, and I might have a way to sway some forces.
Is it safe for us to say we should wait until we hear some musicians?
Hmm.
You have 2.5 days.
After that, we're just going to kick down her
Um,
doors and takes her head.
I can't guarantee anything. I could have a breakthrough in the next couple of days. It could be a week. I know your deadline of the 14th of Eliant, and I'm trying to work hard on that. If you plan to make a move sooner, just tell me and I'll do my best.
We'll let you know.
Tell her now. We're about to do this.
We
So
were about
say
to go
3
fuck her
days?
up.
3 days? Okay.
That was a question to the group, but
I
sure.
think that's fair. We'll give her a little bit of time, but if it doesn't work out, I really think we gotta go shut this down, or some bad shit's gonna happen.
Okay.
Take the head off the Viper.
We kind of crammed some of that stuff that I just mentioned through Nightstone into one series of events, but we're going to say that was over the course of a couple of days. On the 3rd day, the day you're planning to leave, you do not hear from Safine. However, Riker returns of the Red Tigers, and he is not alone.
I know that bastards.
He comes in, and he has several other Red Tiger tribe members, about 6 or 7. And what's more, you see Myra, and the elk barbarian that you had met at the battlefield 20 sessions ago, and a few remaining elk barbarians. And she thought she was
They're not all
the
dead.
last of her kind, but there were others that got away. And Riker will tell you. I return, Goldbrand, to honor my debt to you. The Red Tigers recognize that what you are doing is for the survival of all of Uthgart's children. And to that, they have allowed me to take some of our fangs to help arm your city. And Myra will tell you that after you had healed me, and thank you terribly so for that, I was able to find a few more of my people. And after collecting ourselves and what we could from the battlefield, we wandered for weeks until we stumbled across this man, a red tiger that we would have once considered our enemy, but with a kindred ally between us. We agreed to set aside our differences and aid you who had done so much for both of us.
Well, in this culture, doing so much for someone is just not killing them. So, not terribly difficult.
One of the other fangs goes, that was honestly my suggestion, but you know, I got outvoted.
Well,
Um,
I feels use. Are you guys up to a task?
What task would you ask of us?
We have a thing to deliver to a mound.
I didn't anticipate them for this, but that's great. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be them. There are blue bears to do it, but they
Well,
said
the blue
they,
bears are
they said
thinned
they
out a
wanna
little
help.
bit.
Let's say they
Yeah.
said they want to come help. So Goldbrand's like, all right, you want to do this thing?
No, yeah. What you want to send and where?
One of their stands, I guess. Perhaps the stand closest to Nightscone. Maybe work our way out.
You know, you actually have wonderful news for Myra. You tell Myra that your friend Galvin has already restored her stand.
Okay.
And you tell the Red Tigers that you can provide them with the skull, or excuse me, not the skull, the helm, to restore their mound at Raven's Rock. And several of the barbarians are excited by this. We'll say that oh fuck, we have to walk all the way back. God's fucking damn it!
Carrying the giant's fucking helmets too. I don't envy you.
You watch as they like whatever the Uthgard equivalent to nose goes is, and like the last unlucky fucker's like, God, give me the fucking thing. And it's huge. This is a helmet for a giant, 3 feet across, horns on it that stretch at least a couple of feet in the air, 4 of them. It's pretty big.
You don't have to ghost 2 days. Stays and drinks forest waters, but that is your first.
Very wise.
My first request.
He will also tell you, Riker. Oh, the forest water thing. There's an infinite keg at your barbarian camp, unless you've decided to move it to the tavern.
Keg?
In the Stone Giants Canyon, they had a barrel of wine that would, or excuse me, a barrel of mead that would never end, and they couldn't leave it behind, so they had to bring it with them.
So it's just mead.
I think it's technically beer, but
well, Goldbrand points them towards
whatever.
the infinite cask in the camp.
They're
Oh
happy.
God!
You
Goldbrand
go to the
will
camp.
Goldbrand will briefly go introduce them. Yes. We'll...
And Hydia, recognizing Uthgard, not blue bears, approaching, comes to you and, what is this, husbands?
Peoples I managed not to kills. The surprisingly few amount of.
From what
things
I've seen,
killed.
you've managed to not kill quite a few things.
She's got a point there.
It gets
Goldberg.
easier as I get older. Gets easier as I get older. But Devs comes to help us with. Oh, she's aware of pretty much everything. She's aware of all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
going
you've
to
sent
take-
blue bears off so that she
Yeah, I was
knows.
about to say he'll explain why they've come to help with that particular goal, and at least 2 of them owe him a debt. He makes air quotes.
Yeah. She looks at them, and she's surprised. I mean, elk barbarians you guys have seen on occasion. It's not a tribe that you're in a particularly fierce rivalry with, but when you exited the forest and became nomadic, you did travel through their lands. For the most part, undisturbed. Tigers are less, amicable. And she says, it's no easy task convincing tribes that would have once been at war to put aside their differences.
It helps when there's only 5.
Is this part of the path?
Yes, I believe so.
She nods her head. And will you continue to do this?
Maybe not part of the past, but some things that is likely to happen. I do not know if it has any bearings on paths itself if we do not do this, but we don't want any of those fucking things he tells her about Azazel flying around the fucking worlds.
Fair points. No, we are pleased to have them, and if they would like to return once they have restored their stand, they are welcome here.
You heard her.
And I will tell Devin that when they return, the Blue Bear tribe will go up a size, and they'll get +1 to attack and power.
Neat.
You get a nice little perk from that. And with that, we're gonna head to Daggerford.
Oh God, are we?
Yeah, we're gonna see where we get. So you're choosing to attack beforehand. So let me get to the right part. You guys hop aboard the Westwind Wyvern, or do you choose to take your mounts?
Both.
Both? Okay. The Westwind Wyvern lying high and distant, away from the ballistas and the prying eyes of the city. You guys mount upon your steeds and disembark in the dead of night, I imagine.
If we
We're
can still
called
get there in the dead of
Nightstone, not
night.
Daystone.
You're right. As the as the mission begins, you guys descend down with skillful elegance and ease, but you do need to remain undetected. I need a stealth check from everyone,
So, do y'all
including Valkyr and Tally, if we're saying they're with us.
would there be
Maybe
any
not Tally.
possible advantage for a fog cloud, or should I just go ahead and cast Pass Without a Trace?
That's entirely up to you.
Pass Without a Trace. Just this is all right. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and start a Pass Without a Trace because I last for an hour.
Excellent.
I'll use one to get us in. Can I use a spell check roll technically?
A stealth check from Bergen and Davos and Goldbrand and Valkyr. Excellent. Damn,
That's
dude.
Tally, by the way.
Oh, of course it is.
But I still rolled a nat 17.
Mine's technically
So-
a 23.
You know, even without the pass without a trace, y'all would have passed that group check.
Can we work on no
that's-
pass? I'm kidding.
You're probably gonna want it coming up.
It lasts
So-
for an hour, so.
You guys managed to sneak past the ballistas and find a shadowy part of the interior of the wall that surrounded the keep. Again, I'll show you the city on the map.
So I'm assuming we still haven't heard from Lady Sapphine.
Nothing yet.
All right.
So
What?
Daggerford, the city and the keep are sort of separate. And the keep itself has a second layer of walls. You managed to successfully land within the third level of walls that is around the keep. You find a shadowy part where you can slip in. You need to assess how you're getting in. So up to 3 people can make a perception check for me.
Definitely Tally.
Is Tally that middle one?
That's actually Goldbrand.
Yeah.
This is Tally's.
Oh, that is excellent. Goldbrand, you notice that there's a side entrance to what appears to be a kitchen. You see people moving back and forth with crates, and you gather that at this hour, people are eating. And because of that, you see a little extra foot traffic on a side part of the keep. You see that as the least guarded entrance of the 3 or 4 that you could spot from your current location.
Goldbrand looks at Tally and goes like this.
He connects you.
He
You hear a dial-up tone for about 3 seconds, and then everyone's on.
Hello, friend.
Goldbrand points out the entrance.
Excellent.
Yeah, all
you
these
just
crazy
tell me
hand
to
signs, and he's just talking to you guys in his head.
I think he just told him
Jesus.
to steal third. I don't know.
Is that new guy? Is that a new guy reference?
I think something. I forget what it was.
No, yeah, it's when he's in the bar with the Mexican-looking tough dudes, and he's
Right.
got like the fake viper tattoo, and they see it, they're like, "Oh, you're a viper," and he goes, "Yeah," and they do something, he goes, and the chick he's with has, no idea,
Right.
but the guys are like, "I think he told me to steal third base." So, you guys choose to make the opportunity there.
But
That's
there-
less
there-
guarded, so the DC is lower.
But there are still
Roll a
people moving. This is over a period
Occasionally.
of time. I was about to say we saw people
Yeah.
come and go. Okay, another stealth check. Guess that's the way in.
For everybody in the club getting stealth checks.
Davos
Don't-
with a 9.
Don't forget
You
the
guys-
plus 10s.
This is the instance where Pass Without a Trace saved you, because y'all would have failed there, but y'all do manage to succeed. You watch as
I don't think we're almost shimmery. We're not invisible.
you watch as Goldbrand starts to make a move in, and Tally sort of catches him on the shoulder and pulls him back a bit as another servant comes out with a bag full of garbage and throws it out, and you hear him cussing, and he seems distracted, and fucking special orders, goddamn fucking allergies, and wanders back in. You guys have
Same.
successfully. You guys wait just a moment, see the perfect opportunity, and dip in. And now you're within the keep itself. You're currently in the kitchen quarters, in the rear, a storeroom, perhaps. You manage to navigate your way forward, and you see an entryway into the ballroom, which to have a door to Lady Daggerford's room. I'll pop you on that map.
Colburn's hackles go up. Best a hairless Goliath can. There's nothing. There are people in the ballroom though. Was say empty
Yes.
ballroom straight to her chambers? This is sus as fuck. I'm scared.
Well, you peek in the ballroom. I have you guys up by the top entrance, but you're not really there. You're technically coming from one of these side doors. I think we'll say this one up here. You see several guards. This is even in this environment, it is a guarded location. But you are fortunate, we'll say, that, well, one more stealth check for me.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, Spence coming in. Oh, never mind.
Oh boy. Can they like balance each other out?
They do
Did you
technically, because
cancel?
a critical success is 2 successes. Critical failure is 2 failures. So that's net 0. A 16 doesn't pass, so -1. 29 does pass. 20 does pass. Y'all just barely fucking make it. 20 meets, actually. It's a DC 20 check. You guys manage to creep your way past. You see 8 guards altogether. 4 archers up on the balconies. 8 guards down on the side, making sort of odd patrols on their way through. You manage to sneak to the lower level and gets to a secluded enough spot where you feel like you're not going to be seen directly. And about that time, the double doors across the way, that is your primary target, open. And emerging from there, you see Lady Daggerford, Lord Umber, and the snail. Odd, for sure. You knew they had met in person. It's odd that they're all still here. This was several days ago. Suspicious, to say the least. And they appear to be making their way across the ballroom. Not speaking, but seem to be moving with intent.
Not speaking.
Not speaking to each other.
Can
Like they come...
we, I guess, a perception check to see if they're like a mirage, image, whatever, illusion?
Make a, insight? Hang on.
Colburn was just gonna ask Tally to chuck a knife at one.
Check
Great idea.
what?
Chuck a side knife at one. Just Tally, check if they're real. But I don't know.
Ow! They're real!
Well,
You can make a perception, an investigation, or an insight check. And that'll determine the information you arise. One other person can make a roll.
24 on a perception from Tally.
Solid. Tally sees that the snail doesn't look happy. He looks disgruntled. Not outwardly doing anything that's particularly rude, just his face doesn't seem pleased. Umber, fully masked, is hard to read, but Daggerford does walk with a slight smile and a spring in her step, we'll say. They proceed forward.
I feel like as soon as they start walking out through the room, Goldbrand looks back at their group with this look on his face that just screams, "I'm gonna do it."
Do we want to like ranged attack?
If no one stops him, Goldbrand casts Moonbeam.
Yeah, do it.
He just plops it down on him. He's just like, "All right, here we go. This is why I
Do
came
it.
here."
We'll say middle of the ballroom for perfect dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Dramatic spotlight!
Goldbrand looks
Like-
back, no one shakes their head, and he's just like,
Can we all get an attack? Because I kind of like the lightning javelin.
If you want to take this opportunity to ready an attack, we'll certainly fucking do it. Devin, roll damage for that. Brandon, what you got?
Javelin of lightning.
Throw it. Bergen, Zat, what you got? Who are you aiming at?
Mine was for the snail.
That does not pass, I'm sorry.
I know.
I know you know.
"Oh, I'm sorry, I already rolled the
No.
damage. That's my fault."
Oh, it doesn't have her hit points on her. I'll fix that.
The fuck am I looking at to the left? What is that?
What?
The person to the left. What,
That's
what,
Lord
Oh,
Umber.
that's Lord Umber. He's got like almost like a plague doctor's mask on.
Ah.
The lords of that city are anonymous, except for one. And the anonymous lord is they're masked and fully covered. You can't even tell if they're green or gray or what.
I see. Well, I'm anonymously gonna shoot him. So
Fuck him up. Get him. Where's that
So
other goddamn map?
with this lightning javelin,
Mm-hmm.
it says it's a 13 dex save, but that's not counting the target.
It's 13 dex save for everyone in that line, including the target.
Okay. But you
So
would
give me
still
one.
have to hit?
No, the hit is just for the javelin's damage. The lightning hits that whole line.
Okay.
They have to make a dex save, but if they're probably gonna get hit either way.
I was trying to do the lightning part of the javelin.
I got you. Give me 1 second. I had another token for her on a different map in case you guys fought her in a different location, and now I can't find it, and I'm a little bit angry about it. Oh no, I found it. I'm sorry. Ignore that.
And Tally will definitely throw some Kaika rims.
Oh, that was her, that mythic bitch. Okay.
Addendum to my moonbeam. If she is the succubus and is a shape changer, she has disadvantage on that con save.
That's good to know. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm back. 1 second. Drop something over here. But wait, if they're there, where is the thing? Oh, I see them now.
The very
Can't
thing.
hide. I got you. Excellent. Okay. So, dex save first for the lightning javelin.
13.
She passes that.
What about the snail? Or does he not roll it too?
Because she's in front of him, if you were aiming at her, it would not hit him. The line stops wherever your target is.
Okay, I gotcha.
Now, she does take damage, or half damage from that, I think, from the javelin, yeah? So roll that. Zat, you pop in a hit, roll damage there. Bergen, roll whatever you want. Devin, did you do damage for Moonbeam?
It was only 4 damage.
She has disadvantage on
Oh, it's
the roll.
DC 16 con save, yeah.
She fails. The other two take damage as well. One passes.
Actually,
You said
that's
six-
only a 5 feet.
Oh, it's only 5 feet radius?
Yeah, 40 foot tall. 5 feet radius.
5 feet radius means 10 feet around. So you get to pick one other target. Who are you aiming for? One passed and one didn't, but I won't
Well.
tell you who. He passed. You dumb bitch. No, it's okay. Excellent. Let me see some damage. 14, half of that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. Damage from that. Zat, you were shooting the Lord Umber?
yes.
That's a solid hit. Jesus. Bergen, you rolled anything yet, my dude?
Not yet.
What you
Did
want?
she turn into a scary thing when my moonbeam hit?
We're gonna narrate it in just 1 second.
The succubus.
And
Hit it.
Tally's going for succubus as well. Is it
Hang on
one
1
or
second.
2 Kaika rims?
It's
The
3.
first turn two. For this surprise thing, we're just saying in action.
It's a 23 and a 12.
Oh, thank you for saying the added. The 23 hits. Roll some
And
damage for that knife.
1d.
You should be able to click it on his sheet.
It won't let me.
That's dumb.
11 damage with the E modifier.
Excellent. All right, so this all happens in an instant. They're walking across the ballroom. Their destination unknown to you. Their purpose unknown. And suddenly, like a spotlight, the moonbeam strikes down from the one window above the entry door behind you, we'll say. Blinding in, not actually from the moon, but magically conjured. Comes through and strikes Lady Daggerford and the snail, both of whom recoil a bit from the sudden shock of the radiant damage. Radiant?
Yeah.
Radiant. Thank you. Radiant damage. Immediately, a bolt of lightning, a blast from Bergen's mace, 2 knives, and a shot from Zatari's pistol all come flying toward them, peppering them with blows. And you watch as the moonbeam melts Lady Daggerford, her face shifting and contorting and swirling. Horns protrude from her head, wings rise off her back. She appears nude, pink, red skin, terrifying, alluring in an odd way, as the succubus and her 2 minions stand beside you. And with that, my dudes, I think we're gonna call tonight. If y'all want to play for 30 more, we can. But
you guys can without me if you want. That's fine. But I got it. I got to bounce.
Yeah. Good bounce.
what say you dudes? Oh, Devin's got a bounce too.
No, we can just wait. It's cool.
Okay. Well, we'll start off next week with some combat.
Verbal
you
reminder
guys-
to myself to scream out to the guards that that's not your
Yes,
lady.
That's not-
exactly.
That's not your bitch.
Yes. 8 guards
gonna see
against
how that
her
goes.
is better than 8 guards against us.
We'll see how that goes.
They might already know.
Oh gosh. I
Yeah,
didn't
if they
think
already
about
know,
that.
it's worse than
Or if they're
we
not
realize.
human
or charmed.
or charmed.
Lots of shit could be going on.
If we're charmed when we beat them up, they might get over it.
That's a good way to phrase that. But with that, my dudes,
I don't know.
Um,
She should have broke concentration with that.
She would technically have to make a roll, indeed. Well, if she functions by the same rules as
Everybody else.
creatures
we'll
are
find
weird.
out. Yeah, demons are fucked. But with that, my dudes, hope you enjoyed tonight's session. I had fun. Was surprised with some of the directions we went, but not too surprised. Hope that you all have a wonderful week. Don't forget to love each other. And is it Thursday yet? Is it
Thursday?
Friday yet?
Alright.
Oh God.
Jeez.
Yeah, sorry.
Way to
Critical
ruin it.
Role has corrupted me.
All right.
All right,
later.
dudes.
Later.
Deuces.
Hey, guys.